In this episode of Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, how can you talk about a Rekluse clutch for over an hour? I don't know, because it's our show and we can do whatever we want. Anyways, Mike from Rekluse comes on, talks about the new EXP 4.0. But this show would not be possible without the help of some amazing sponsors: Yamaha, Moto, Scott Sports, Climb, DDC, Trail Tech, Fasst Company, Bulletproof Designs, and Double Take Mirrors. Support companies that support this show. Live from Pahrump, show 201, Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. My name is Jimmy Lewis. I'm here with Jimmy Tyler.
Hey guys, how are you?
And Logan is over there pushing the buttons. We can't believe that actually Tech Talk Taco Tuesday was on life support. That's why there wasn't a show last week. I thought maybe it was going to commit suicide after 200 episodes, but I guess I like doing this too much. So we are back. This is the show where we answer your motorcycle and motorcycle product-related questions. And yeah, I'm trying to push some buttons here on my side of the screen too. Tonight we're going to talk about I took in some of the. Did you read the things?
Not yet.
People said about the show.
Read the first one is all.
Yeah. So basically, on show 200, I asked, "Hey, how can we make this better?" Because we want to kind of kick it up. We only have 18,000 subscribers on YouTube, so it's not good enough.
That's not.
No, we need 20. I need 20, or people won't even look at you with unless you have 20,000. So, by doing this crazy little show, however we're doing it, we're kind of plugging right along. Our computer's humming right along. Yeah, it's trying to cool down. Too much information's going through there. So one thing we have tonight, we're going to talk about Rekluse clutches. The Rekluse just released their EXP 4.0, and we have Mike Campbell on the Zooms with us on our we'll call it our hotline. But we did go a little short on. We have a sponsor opportunity that opened up, so you can now sponsor our hotline because we did such a good job. The company had a hard time keeping up with demand, and they don't need to advertise anymore. Anyways, this show would not be possible without the help of a lot of our sponsors. Of course, Yamaha. Everybody knows we like the Blue Crew. Moto sponsoring the Roosterendo segment. We've got our submissions for Roosterendo, and that segment is so good that one of the guys is skipping Bible study to shepherd his bike through the pastures of Roosterendo tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You have to guess which one it is. Yeah. Scott Sports, makers of really awesome goggles, by the way. Scott Sports has the Pro Circuit Edition goggles. Check these things out. If you're into the Pro Circuits, the pipes and stuff, you can now have Pro Circuit eyewear, courtesy of Scott. So there's some really awesome limited edition cool signature looking Pro Circuit Prospect goggles. Of course, Climb. Did I wear Climb today? I did. I wore a Climb helmet when I rode down to the post office in my flip flops.
I saw one stripe in your driveway when I got home. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
Either it rained or he ain't been riding. Something's up.
No, I have been. I've been on my knees working on a floor. DDC sprockets, Trail Tech. I put up a link in the chat for a survey you can take if you have any experience with the Trail Tech Voyager, want to have experience with, if you have experience with Trail Tech Voyager and want to take a survey, potentially win $500. I'm going to go ahead and throw it up there again right now, just to make sure it's up there. It is. I just did another one, just so it's up there. But if you want to take that survey, you can potentially win some bucks. They want to know a little bit about their. Obviously working on a new Trail Tech Voyager, and they want to make it even better. And Fasst Company flex handlebars, Bulletproof Designs, and, of course, Double Take Mirrors. So all on board helping us out with this show. Appreciate all those companies. They believe in what we do, and they don't even make me do ad reads for him, although I just do them off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. So is Mike in the room there?
Should be.
Can we bring him
I'm
onto
here.
the show?
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. You are
Thanks.
a technical lead over at Rekluse. Know everything about the clutches, correct?
I like to think so, yeah.
That's good. You've definitely helped me out a few times on different occasions. I have been I've been using auto clutches since the first time I rode a mini bike into the side of my friend's mom's car because it had an auto clutch on it. It was a Honda Phil Monkey 50 Honda 50, and like I put it in gear, but you know when you put them in gear, if you hold the lever up, it doesn't go. I actually was down on this one, so I pushed it down, and I was like revving it, going, well, I know, I've watched them. I'd never ridden before. I'm like, I watched them, and they push down on this, and then they turn this, and then it goes, and I did it, and finally I had it about half throttle, and I finally lifted my foot up, and that allowed the clutch to engage.
Went full Larry.
Right into the side, and I acted like it never even happened. There's probably some dents to prove that it did. So I've been on auto clutches since the beginning. Of course, my CT70s had auto clutches, and then even rode they were the original Revlocks. Remember those?
I remember hearing about them.
When Al was designing the Rekluse, and Revloc had the one.
Yeah.
They were very kind of similar, really similar. It was a little fighting over who got it first and all that stuff, but that's long begone history. And now we're on. Well, it's gone from Z Start Pro, which would be called the original, correct?
Nope,
Or
Z Start.
Z Start.
Yep.
Then there was Z Start Pro,
Correct?
which was, and then you went to EXP.
Yep. Yeah, well, they started out, they actually named it the Trail Clutch is actually what they named that one. And then we released the Core EXP, which included the components.
Okay.
And then they
And,
took
and
out, didn't work.
Yeah, Trail Clutch, yeah. So EXP is now on its fourth thing. I really didn't know anything about it. I had a viewer contact me and say, "Hey, what do you think of the EXP 4.0?" I'm like, I didn't know there was one. So I got in touch with you guys and said, "Hey, I actually the good thing is the website, the information was already up there, and it was only a few days after you released it." And so the information was up there, and I looked at it, and it was funny because I remember trying some really weird stuff that Al had given me, like in the early days, where it was on the early EXPs because they weren't as good as the Z Starts for me. They just didn't have the same characteristics in the engagement. Sometimes it was too sudden, and sometimes it was too slow, and it didn't release the same way. But I can't tell you how much time I spent with playing with metal balls on those ramps of different materials, tungsten and if, probably some of them are radioactive. He gave me so many different weird little balls to play with. You'd have to use magnets to figure out which ones are which, and you'd be measuring them on a very precise scale, and then you would tip it over and they'd spill, and all your hard work is gone because you had to space them correctly. So I understand why that's kind of gone the way of the dodo bird, but I still have one in my Husaberg 570. I will not take it out because it works. I've got it working so good. But
The 70-degree slant end, that one?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
Gotcha.
That's it because it was.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Have I ever told you how powerful that mic is?
I've heard.
Dude, we actually have. You guys remember Patrick Cother?
Yes.
Rest his soul, is not with us anymore, but his bike was actually in the front showroom. He had a Husaberg FE 570 and a 450, and one of them we actually have as a tribute bike for him at Rekluse. And so it's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, Patrick was a really good guy. I remember watching Patrick peel the cylinder off of a GS Adventure on a ride out in Utah one day. He just clipped a rock. I mean, and by clipped a rock, he broke it with the cylinder head. And yeah, so
it's an expensive one.
Yeah. So, anyways, so I was always really picky with that, and I remember trying ones with like more balls in the ramps, and just different things that they were trying to do before they went to the Teflon pads. And now you've gone to on the wedge. And if you, I probably should have got some really nice pictures and had them so we could, show them on the screen right now. But this is also quite an audio format. There's basically a giant roller in the middle of the wedge now. And then like 2 ball bearings on the side and kind of a different ramp profile inside of the disc. And so what was the reason for this, and what's the expected result?
Yeah, so I'll make it short, but I'll kind of start with 1.0 because it's been kind of a progression. And so 1.0 started out with, we had wedges with Teflon pads on them. They were oblong Teflon pads, and man, pictures would really help bring this visual together, but I don't have them. And then 2.0, we went to ball bearings stacked on top of each other. The idea of it was when it expands with centrifugal force, there's virtually no friction. When it expands, it's just there, especially when centrifugal force is throwing those out. When you have a very small contact point, there's no friction. And so when that throttle response is dramatically improved when that happens. But what happened with the 2.0 is we weren't getting longevity out of it. It worked great when it was brand new, but it depends on the rider. But a lot of people weren't getting the longevity they wanted out of it. Is ultimately what it came down.
I can tell you, I'm whether it was the Teflon pad one, which is 3.0, and the 2.0, which is the ball bearing.
Yeah,
I can get 500 hours on them, but I think I'm different. I'm not hard on them for some reason. But I did, I actually got better life out of the ball bearing one than I did the Teflon pad one, as far as like it's like 400 hours versus 600 hours. And then, like I said, these are in KTM 500s and 350s and all, and they're used for all different kinds of stuff. But it was kind of it was sort of, the ball bearings tended to last just a little bit longer. The performance stayed, I would say the performance stayed more consistent with the ball bearings. But when you looked at the aluminum plate, it definitely looked a lot more worn out, where the Teflon would degrade. I think because the Teflon pad would pretty much go away.
Yeah, they would. And it's interesting you brought that up, because guys like you, Jimmy, you're really technical and you know how to set things up very correctly. And I'm not saying that most dirt bikers don't know how to set things up, but I think most dirt bikers don't read the instruction manual.
I was just gonna go there and say, I think they know how to set it up if they would actually read the instruction manual, which, by the way, you guys have a really good set of instructions.
We definitely try. And there's always, who the guys are that actually point out that we're wrong, and it's like our grammar and stuff, are the BMW guys every time. Hey, you need a comma here. You got to fix this. Anyways, it's funny. But no, the 2.0, it really was. It was a great product, and but heat was its nemesis. So if you started to slip, and the heat generated very quickly in a clutch, right? You got a lot of RPMs. So if it starts to slip and you don't fix the issue right away, that's why those were wearing out so quickly. So for the average guy, as soon as it would start to slip, you got to think the average guy does maybe once a month if he's lucky. Most of us guys, I can't really call us average because we're in the industry. We try to ride as much as possible, but for the average guy, if you think of the guy that's just working 9 to 5s, he might get lucky if his wife lets him ride once a month, and they got a family and all that kind of stuff, right? So when they go ride, if it starts to slip, they don't know if it's because it's muddy or anything like that. Maybe they don't feel connected to the rear wheel. It's like the difference of a guy having 10,000 hours of riding time as opposed to a guy that has 500 hours. It's just beginner to experts, that kind of thing. And so a lot of guys don't, I don't think they feel that connection to the rear wheel as much as guys like you. You can really know when you're giving it throttle, it's not working right. You're not getting that drive. The RPM is not matching your speed, that kind of stuff. And so the 2.0, I think its nemesis was heat. So as soon as it would start to slip, it would start to pit into the aluminum. then the wedges would stick, and then it would start to stall, and so on and so forth. And ultimately, the vast majority of our customers, they had that issue when it would come out of adjustment, whether they didn't know how to check free play gain or they just didn't know they needed to check that often. Heat was the nemesis of the 2.0. And so that's what really drove us to the 3.0 design, was to increase the longevity. And it did that for our average customer. And so it's really interesting that you're saying that the 2.0, you got longer life out of it as compared to the 3.0, because from a lot of really high level riders like yourself, I got that same kind of feedback. And that's really what drove us back towards a 2.0-esque design. But the ball bearings it was too small of a contact point on the aluminum. And so by going to the roller pins, there's actually 2 roller pins stacked on top of each other. And so that contact point, or that friction that's being, that happens when it's being thrown out with centrifugal force, it's not nearly as much as the 3.0. The biggest thing with the 3.0 that we noticed was when people would get on the throttle, especially off the bottom, when you're first cracking the throttle off of idle, people didn't feel connected. They're like, there's almost a delay. Like, you got to use the clutch lever or something like that. Like, it just feels like you have to plan for popping your front wheel up over a log or up over a rock or up over a ledge, things like that. Where this 4.0, it really brought that 2.0 throttle response back, but with that much, much larger surface area contact on the aluminum itself, the wear pattern is dramatically improved. And also with the pins, because they're so much larger, we can really play with the type of material. So most of the stuff comes with steel pins now, but we also have tungsten pins, a much heavier metal. And so we can really kind of tune how heavy the wedge is by just changing out the pins instead of having to get different type of wedges. Most of them are like sintered steel mixed with brass, things like that. And now with the pins, we can really play with the types of metal, make them really light, make them really heavy. It's a dramatic improvement kind of all around. But man, the bikes that it really improved on, the 2017 current 250-300 two-strokes, those are the bikes that the feedback that I've gotten have been pretty dramatic, and we're really excited about that, because that's really, in the auto clutch world, that's kind of our base.
So the ones that you sent me, those had the steel wheels in them or tungsten? Were they heavier or regular?
The original set that I sent you, I sent you an extra set of wedges, didn't I? Or no, I didn't.
No. It was just the disc and the set of plates that was going to go in the 300, but you didn't realize I didn't have a clutch in my 300 already, because for the reason you just talked about. I was on my KTM 2-strokes. I've never been super. I've had them in all the different bikes, and I had one in a friend's KTM 300 that I actually was the one I raced in King of the Motos. I had it in, but I actually took it out right before the race just because I wasn't 100% confident in it. So I've tried them on the KTM 2-strokes, but they're in almost every one of my KTM 4-strokes. And so that clutch, that was, I don't know what was it. So what was in that one?
Medium wedges. What we call me at this point, yes. And so I do have heavier wedges that I will definitely be sending to you, so you can try them out.
Because that just dropped. I took that one and just dropped it straight into a KTM 500, and I just did back to back with my standard, my 3.0, and then put that one straight in, and right away. And I put I currently run like mostly all silver or a mix of silver and steel in my KTM 500s. So really, really light springs, way lighter than most people. And then I like typically heavier. Yeah. And so when I put the bike in gear, it drags, and I have to be really, really technical with my free play gain, just to make sure that it's engaging. So it basically, so the bike doesn't stall, but I never want it to freewheel. Like, I don't ever want it to disengage and kind of freewheel, which is a sort of a standard setup for a lot of guys. They don't mind a little bit of freewheeling. And but anyhow, So I went back and forth, and it was just the new one was just so much smoother and predictable in the way that it engaged. That was the noticeable thing. And then the 300, just like I said, dropped it in. Had the issue with the piston thickness, but I was able to. I had some washers from older setups that I was able to get, so I could get my free play gain all dialed in. Got that thing dialed in, and did the break-in procedure, which I always do when it's a full new system. Went through, did the break-in procedure, came and adjusted it, and bingo, it's just like my 4-strokes. It's really, really close. I think I might want to go in and play, and I switched it to half red, half silver. Just right
Gotcha.
out of the gate, because I know that I like it a little bit, like I'd say, engaging a little bit earlier, and a little bit more grab. So, but yeah, straight away,
Absolutely.
it's a pretty big improvement, and it's kind of knowing what I know. If you have an older 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, you can just buy a new EXP disc and drop it in, and you're going to get that upgraded performance.
Well, not 1.0.
Not one. Oh, because that's a.
Yeah, that one's too old. That one when we went from 1.0 to 2.0, it was actually a really dramatic change. We changed the pressure plate, the inner hub, and all that stuff. 2.0 to 3.0,
it's a different thickness. The 1.0 is also a different thickness and stuff, I think.
Yeah, that's correct. Absolutely. But 2.0, 2.0 could swap out with the 4.0. That we do, that you can do. And then we made sure that with 3.0, because we ran with 3.0, oh man, I want to say it was 2014 or so, roughly, maybe right around 2014 or so. We've ran with 3.0 for about a decade. And so we really were due for an upgrade with the auto clutch. And, the components themselves, they're pretty darn good. There are some small improvements you can make, but when it comes to manufacturing a lot of components and all that kind of stuff, and we do make everything in house, we have to really plan for that long term. Have a long term plan. And as we've gone through some different things. Al sold the company. We're now part of Race Winning Brands, and so a lot of things have changed. And so we're finally, rocking and rolling again and moving forward, new technology. And what's really cool is, I've been here 13 years. And so I started there sweeping floors in the shop. And so to watch the progression from, the Z starts to where we're at now is really cool. And that's really what has kept me there is, okay, I gotta be honest. Honestly, it's the people that have kept me there. That's really the cool thing is the people. That's really Rekluse. But they're not stagnant on technology. I don't have to talk about the same exact thing every single day. Well, I kind of do. It's clutches, but they're always innovating new things. And with the pro level racers, Supercross, Motocross, we're always trying new things, getting to test new things. Hey, is this going to work? And all that kind of stuff. So they're always moving forward. That's the goal. As long as they're moving forward and we're moving forward, that's what makes it fun and progression.
Yeah, and one of the things like in started learning with the auto clutches and stuff, and like I guess I was always an okay rider, and so I didn't need an auto clutch, but I realized that there's definitely some advantages to it, and it sort of got to the point where when I started really learning how to get them set up properly, it was one less thing I had to do on the motorcycle. I could worry about other stuff. I could worry about how I was turning the throttle as opposed to trying to coordinate my wrist and my clutch. I started, getting them, having my friends ride them, and they were so resistant, most of them, except my wife, who just instantly loved it, said it was the best thing ever. She doesn't want to ride anything but Rekluses now. So it's one of the questions. It's like, is it a 2-stroke or a 4-stroke? Because she has a preference, and does it have a Rekluse in it? So, but I started getting them set up, and there's just one less thing I had to worry about because it was doing all the work for me. And then it really started teaching me about the power band, where the torque is in the motorcycle, how low of an RPM you can allow the motor to chug, because all of a sudden I didn't have to worry about it stalling, and I was riding at lower and lower RPMs and getting better and better traction. And now, especially when we watch the top level extreme enduro guys who mostly do not run Rekluse clutches, you do not have that level of control in your, and it'd be your left hand. That's the clutch on the left side, right? So you do not have that level of control in your left hand to do what they're doing. But if you have a Rekluse, all you have to do is control your right hand, and you can learn about this lower RPM. So overall, no matter what you're riding, it makes you a better rider, because you start appreciating and trusting the torque of the motorcycle. And so, I mean, do you need one? No. Is it going to make you a better rider? Most people, yes, as long as you just let it do what it does and quit touching the damn lever when your RPM goes below 3,000 RPM. Because that's all I watch people do, is just overheat their bikes, smoke their clutches, and spin their tires. And you can literally be like a Graham Jarvis and stuff if you just let your Rekluse do a lot of the work. That's what I do, at least.
Yeah, it's I love that you brought that up, because when I first started answering phones at Rekluse, a lot of guys are calling, and obviously if they're calling, they're contemplating buying it regardless. And so, they're calling Rekluse asking, hey, should I buy your clutch? So kind of silly to do that. But what was really cool is I get to be really straightforward with the customers. And it actually makes it really fun. You make a lot of friends that way too. And so, the auto clutch, the best way, honestly, the best benefit you can get out of an auto clutch is if you know how to use a regular clutch. And so a lot of like mini dads, when I started going to Loretta's and, doing that whole thing with motocross and supercross, the clutch lever is really important. And so a lot of the mini dads would ask, hey, should I start my kid out on an auto clutch and all that? And I'm like, well, of course you can, but honestly, the kid's going to get the biggest benefit out of his motorcycle if he knows how to use the clutch. If you plan on progressing and getting to a high level of riding, knowing how to use the clutch is an extreme benefit. So it's not necessarily like you start out with the Rekluse and you make it all the way to the pros and you never really learn how to use a regular clutch. I don't know if you'd make it to the pros, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
And so I would
No, it
encourage.
does.
Yeah, I would encourage you to let them learn how to use the clutch. Once they get sufficient with the clutch, what it can do is it can help you get to the next level. It takes a C rider to a B rider, is kind of what I like to say.
I could not agree more. This is what I do, especially when we're talking about off-road. And when you come to a technical section, all of a sudden you're not going to stall it on something technical. And usually the bike goes puka, and then the bike goes kaplam and falls over, because they stall. All of a sudden they lose the power that was masking the balance that they didn't have to begin with. And so, teaching an off-road riding school, I'm very, very hyper aware of when the problems occur. And the problem occurred way before we had a issue with our clutch, whether it's a Rekluse or not. You were out of balance before you even got started. But the ability to kind of use the momentum to get you out of it is that. And a lot of people ask me, like, well, is it good for motocross? And I'm like, those turns you have a hard time going around in third because you might stall. And then if you downshift a second, it just upsets the bike. I go, guess what? You just do them in third all day long. These kind of things. So, and with everything, there's advantages and disadvantages. And so I always like to do this. I like to put the person from the company on the spot. Because you already went down this road. What are the disadvantages in your opinion of the Rekluse? Like, what would you say because I have my ideas. What would you say are the problems, or not the problems, the we'll call it non-selling points?
Sure. Absolutely. I love it. So like just first off with Rekluse, the coolest thing is we have, I like to call it the total clutch solution. We have auto clutches, which are terrific, but we also have manual clutches, and they're also progressing the manual clutch world, which we can get in that later. But, so as far as the auto clutch goes, where it hinders someone is if they really don't know how to use their clutch lever and they're trying to progress further. You know, if you're getting in really technical trails, I live in Idaho, and we have really technical single track trails with lots of exposure. And when I talk about exposure, you know, I actually
cliffs.
Yeah. One of your great listeners, actually, he's a huge fan of yours. His name's Harlan. I met him last year, and he came up to my house, and we were going to do this ride from Idaho City over to Featherville and stay in a little motel and head back the next day. And I told him, I was like, hey, there's exposure. And, and he's like, okay, we're cool. Well, we get to this one section where it's cliffs. That's what I meant by exposure. And
yeah,
found out he was deathly scared of heights. He got through it. It was awesome. We high-fived at the end, but the guy was so pumped up, and he's like, I didn't know that's what you exposure. And so, you know, qualified the ride, take him. But God, he ended up being an awesome rider, which was great. He made a great friend. Anyway, so, you know, in those really technical sections, if you don't know how to use your clutch lever, or you're purely relying on the Rekluse to do everything for you, it's probably not going to do everything. You're going to know how to use your motorcycle to get through those really technical sections. And really, when you have cliffs and exposure, it's serious. You know, there are real sections where you fall, you'll die. You know, you're not coming back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, knowing how to use your clutch lever and use your motorcycle, again, the biggest benefit you can get out of an auto clutch is knowing the fundamentals of how a clutch is supposed to work and how the clutch lever should work. And
right, you with a Rekluse, you get a small monkey. With a Rekluse, you get a small monkey that goes inside your engine someplace, and he's like the best at clutching ever. He's so good at clutching that you never have to do it. That's what I always tell people. It's pretty good. Hey, we got a question in the chat that says, can you bump start your bike with a Rekluse clutch?
An auto clutch set up correctly, no, you cannot bump start unless you get up to a ridiculous amount of speed, because it's all based on centrifugal force. So an auto clutch set up correctly, no, you're not going to be able to bump start it straight up.
Right, and so when we started talking about one of my concerns, that's one of my. It's not really a concern because I mean I have a Husaberg. It never had a Kickstarter, so I've had a Rekluse in it forever, and I've never had a problem. Even when I've had issues with it, it's always able to start. But you can also back the free play gain out, you know, on those with the hydraulic clutches. And you can lock the clutch up, and even on and this was on some a client's bike on a tour in Mexico. He had a Rekluse in it that was completely improperly set up, and I just watched him take off the very first time, and I think it was brand new on his bike, and I said, "Hey, I said you have a Rekluse in there or something." And the funny thing is, I was just going to say is I use the word Rekluse like Xerox. Like a Xerox is a copy, Rekluse is an auto clutch, and I shouldn't because Rekluse clutches. I have the core manual in my YZ125, so I do know you guys make regular clutches too. But so the auto clutch, I could tell his auto clutch was set up improperly just when he took off. It just wasn't engaging right. And I said, hey, I don't think that thing's. I said I know a little bit about those, and he had no idea who I was or anything, which is the case these days. And he said, no, I had so-and-so at this shop, and he set it up, and it's awesome. And I said, no, I think it's going to slip and it's going to fry. Well, when it finally did, and his battery went dead or something, it was just the bike, you know, we couldn't start it. We actually took it apart and then locked the whole damn clutch up. You know, so there are ways, especially when you have the easy access clutch cover, there are ways to, and I think we did it with, I want to say we used a piece of rope or something like that. We actually took the clutch apart, sandwiched a piece of rope in there, and squished it down. And then he had a no more clutch, so we bump started his bike, and one of the guides rode his bike, and he looked at me.
He went on to fry more stuff of other people's.
He looked at me like I was an asshole for even telling him that was going to happen in 30 miles.
Yeah. Well,
but anyway, so that's a disadvantage.
To finish out the question, though, with the bumps, again, auto clutch set up correctly, no, you can't bump start. However, all of the auto clutches, if you get in that worst case scenario, Kickstarter breaks off and the battery dies, With the hydraulic bikes, you back out the slave cylinder counterclockwise until it loses tension. Then your pressure plate has full contact with the clutch pack, and it's a manual clutch. Then you're able to bump start it. So if you have hydraulic, super simple. You just back it out with a number 4 Allen. Make sure you got the tool on you. With a Japanese bike, if you have our full system, the pressure plate's lifted. You got to drop your adjustment ring all the way down so that pressure plate clamps the clutch pack. It's a manual clutch at that point. You can bump start it. And then if you have the Radius X, for example, where you use the clutch cable to lift the pressure plate, you simply would back the clutch cable out so you have traditional free play in your clutch lever. You're pressure plate clamped at that point, and then you can bump start it. So there are ways to bump start it. You always do have a way to get yourself out of the woods as long as you got the right tools, whether it's number 4 Allen or 8mm screws, Austrian or Japanese. There are ways to do it as long as you got the right tools. So if you plan for it, if you plan for that worst case scenario, which you should, if you're going out in the woods, always plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah. So that was one of my things, and that's a minor one. It's not really something. If you're properly working bike, it shouldn't be an issue. The second thing is the freewheeling. On when you lock the wheel up and the clutch does what it's supposed to do and it disengages, and then the bike freewheels because the clutch is now disengaged and the bike is down at idle. It's run. You don't have any sort of drag in the system, and so you literally skid and you let up on the brake, and all of a sudden you have no compression braking, even though your clutch lever is quote out. And this is where I set mine up so that doesn't happen. That's why I'm so picky about it. But and there's so much tuning you can do, and most of the tuning can be done with the idle speed. And so when people complain about this, I say you can play around with your idle speed, then you can get into setting. I know you guys don't like to have people play around with the free play gain too much because that can go wrong very quickly. But you can also do things with different springs and different wedges to get it, and it's a pretty simple couple of steps if you're paying attention to it. But that's like the only other thing. And the number one thing that I have a problem with it is if I'm doing something really technical, generally super steep uphills, and I don't keep my throttle engaged, which is engaging my clutch. Like if I go up something and I let off the throttle completely, the bike will roll backwards. And so, or if the bike stalls, if you're going up something steep, really gnarly, and the bike stalls, then you don't have what we would call your parking brake, which is your stalled engine and the compression of the motor to stop the thing. And that's probably my number one thing. Most people don't get in those kind of situations too often, but that's why you make a left-hand rear brake, right?
Yeah. Yes. And the left-hand rear brake is awesome. Admittedly, I tried to run it. I really tried because it's a product that we sell. I have a YZ250, an 06 YZ250, and I love the bike. I have a wife and kids and don't have the budget to buy a new bike. That's really the truth. But I love the YZ250. I tried to run the left-hand rear brake, and ultimately it just didn't jive with me. So some people absolutely love it. There is a huge customer base for it, and it really surprised me. But you know what? It works for a lot of people. For me, I couldn't ever get off of my rear brake with my foot. I couldn't.
I'm right there with you. Even when I had both the clutch lever and the little lever up there, and I've tried different things. I actually took my brake pedal off and see if I could teach myself. Even when I was riding the KTM Freeride E, which has both of its levers up on the handlebars. I don't want to cuss right now, but every time I came into a turn a little bit hot, and I do not use my rear brake to slow me down. I use it to control the motorcycle. And just try getting on your front brake without having a rear brake. And there's no way I'm going to pull my clutch in when I'm coming into a turn too hot because I want that compression braking or whatever. Well, guess what I feel like I'm doing? So I'm just like you, and I cannot do this. But I did teach myself on my Husaberg, my trusty Husaberg, with the left-hand rear brake. So when I jumped off the motorcycle when it was going up a hill and I knew I was going to start rolling backwards, I would know to grab it. And that's about all I would ever do with that. But I have many friends, and I think even now more so than ever, with a lot of new people that are coming from bicycles into motorcycles, that adaptation to left-hand rear brake is not that big of a thing. Not like what we are painfully not able to do.
You're absolutely right. The mountain bike crowd that's coming into the motorcycle world, they love it. Absolutely love it. And in fact, a lot of guys end up switching their front brakes to the left-hand side and their rear brakes to the right-hand side.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy.
All the way. Absolutely.
Hey, whatever. Whatever gets more people riding, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
It's, it's for guys who grew up riding without these crazy tools that we have nowadays. It's a great tool that you can have, and you really can customize it to how you want to do it. And that's where you get into this whole thing with like, oh man, I'm sure you've seen like the great stuff on KTM Talk where someone posts, Recluses for pussies, that kind of thing or whatever. And it just,
I usually pipe right in and say, thank you any day. No.
It's just, but you know what I mean? It's just different walks of life coming into motorcycling, which is great. There's a tool for everyone and everyone uses it in a different way. And that's ultimately what it comes down to. You like what you like, and who cares what anyone else thinks? If it works for you, it works.
Right.
The left is a great product, and it works. The crazy thing with the left-hand rear brake is how many iterations we've had to go through. We used to have to outsource the master cylinders. We went from Brembo to Magura to AJP, back to Magura, back to Brembo, and then we went to Hayes, was a mountain bike company.
I have one of those.
Yep, very big mountain bike company. We basically co-branded with Hayes for a short period of time, and they were switching their master cylinders up every other year or so, and then so we were having to change our product, and we just got to the point where we had to make it in-house, and we had a couple. One great engineer, Dane Conrad, he really dove into this, and basically we made our own master cylinder, and so that was the big thing. Is now we can actually play with the size of the piston because it's our own. Is it a 9? Is it 5? Is it a 10? Is it a 10.5? So we played with all of these, and we settled on a 9.5 size piston. And so that's what we're currently using, but we have the ability to change on the fly. And then it also opened up, do we make a clutch lever that has swappable sleeves where you can change the piston size and blah, blah, blah. It just opened up a whole new world of stuff to play with. So it's really, it's a lot of fun to really kind of dive into that world. Just based on a left-hand rear brake is where it started.
Yeah, and like I said, I know a lot of guys that take their foot levers off, and they really like the lever. I put one on a bike just to test it, because that's what I do, and I was really amazed at how far it's come since the kind of the first versions, and they you don't have to bleed them every second, third ride, stuff like that, and way better. And it's actually, I'm almost ready to swap out my Husaberg with the old mountain bike one. I think it was the Hayes one. I'm ready to swap that one out and put the Rekluse one on there, but it's just a project for another day. I mean, the very few times that I use that anymore. So okay. Also, you guys make a lot of regular clutch parts as well. So like I said, I have a full, what is it? It's the Core EXP. No. Sorry, it's just so many names I can't remember. The Core manual.
Yep, Core manual torque drive is our top of the line dual clutch right now. The big thing with torque drive is, and a lot of people don't realize this unless they actually get a tour through the facility. Those friction plates are legitimately handmade. Every single friction pad is set on by a human hand. It's pretty wild, that whole process. And it started out, they basically hired this chemical engineer from BSU, Boise State University. We called him Easy Bake Bob, and because he started out with basically an easy bake oven, and we were using automotive glues, different types of paper to bake these friction plates in a little conventional oven on a countertop, and that's where it started. And the idea was, with our EXP disc, because of how thick it is, originally we had to remove friction plates out of the clutch pack to fit it in the clutch basket. And so the idea was we need to get more friction surface area in there, because when you remove frictions, you have to compensate with stiffer pressure plate springs. So sure, you get an auto clutch, but then your clutch lever feels like absolute crud. It's god awful stiff. It feels like a Harley that's 40 years old and has never had a loop cable.
Yeah.
That also. The idea is if you get more friction surface area in there, you don't need a stiffer pressure plate springs. You still get the good clutch lever. And no one else had really done it in the industry at all, really at all.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
the idea was more friction plates. And so finding the type of material that we would need to use, so we settled on steel. It's an obvious one for really thin material. But it's not your average run-of-the-mill steel. The way we have to buy it is pretty insane. And then you get it cut out, lasered, brought to us. We got to make sure it's flat. And if it's not flat, it goes through a actual 1940s flattener. It's this old dinosaur of a machine. Flattens things perfectly. It's such a cool little machine. And took us forever to figure it out, but we finally got it. Everything gets flattened out if it's not flat. Then it goes through a sander, gets scuffed up, goes through a glue coat roller, through what I call the pizza oven, but it's basically a high-end pizza oven, essentially. And then back over, glue coat roll over again. That all dries. Then they scrape off all the excess glue with razor blades, sit on each pad by hand, put it in these fixtures, clamp these fixtures down to a specific torque, put it in the oven. They bake it a certain amount of time, and that creates the bonding process. And then there's one last check where they check all the pads to make sure that they're actually bonded. And it's a very, very laborious process. And they became the largest department at Rekluse because of how much manpower it takes to create those. It's crazy. But it worked. It worked really well. And that torque drive really what drove us into Supercross. Star Racing Yamaha, our biggest, Supercross and motocross team, they've delivered multiple championships, which is insane and super awesome to be a part of. They actually, their suspension settings because of our clutch, they were no longer going. And this sounds, when I heard the story, I was kind of blown away. But basically, what they learned is that when they start in the whoops, they're hot and heavy starting in the whoops, and as they get deeper into the whoops, if it's a long whoop section, the bike loses drive and falls deeper into the whoops. And so they had to compensate with their suspension for that. When they put the torque drive in there, it had so much torque, it was keeping them on top of the whoops all the way through. So they were able to actually change their suspension settings based on our clutch. And that blew my mind when they said that.
Awesome.
Not surprising at all, because knowing, having experience around, factory schemes and seeing what they test, everybody thinks it's all just, shiny suspension parts. And they spend, whether it was back in the day, it was jetting and stuff like that. They spend so much time working on the clutch. And a lot of it's for the start. I mean, now, especially for the start, they want a certain kind of a feel and a certain kind of engagement. And they're building these clutch packs that are almost specifically for the start. And once they get, okay, now we got our start, then they go straight over to the hoops and start hammering hoops. Because if you see what they do, if you don't know about this, when they come around the turn before the hoops, they usually upshift. So they go up, they're usually going through there in fourth gear on a lot of the bikes. And depending on how many speed transmissions are in the bikes to begin with. But they upshift going into the hoops. And they get it spinning up, and they can't have the clutch, like you were talking about, start slipping halfway through the hoops, because some of the riders ride the clutch, through the hoops, and they need to keep it spinning so that it carries them. Other ones just death grip the bar and they don't touch the clutch at all, and it needs to slip a certain amount because there's all that force on the transmission as well. And there's so much engineering that goes into a lot of stuff. You can't just make a clutch just locks up. That's the, of course there's dampers inside of most clutch and clutching systems, but the damper is maxed out when they're hitting hoops. That's the hardest thing that they do on the Supercross tracks. Absolutely.
Supercross and Rallycross whoops, they are the hardest things on clutches that I have found, for sure.
For sure.
So, but anyways, I'm pretty super stoked. I haven't gone on, my end all will be to go on like my little extreme enduro loop and see if I will trust the KTM 300 in that, it'll do it. But if I can do it without even thinking about touching my clutch lever, it's like game changing. That's how much of an improvement the 4.0 is off the 3.0, because like I said, if it works, I would even be willing to put them back in my KTM 200s if I still do have one.
Yeah, I think.
My old 200 has the Z Start in it, and that one works. It's acceptable, but it was just the small two strokes just don't have the torque a lot of times, because you really. What was that?
Yeah, I said you're 100% right there, because with the small bores, they don't have that bottom end torque. And so a lot of people, actually, this is going to circle back to kind of what you said earlier. Remember how you're saying, like, with the auto clutch, you're kind of in an RPM that the bike isn't really used to. And what I mean by that is, like, when you have a manual clutch, you're using your clutch lever to rev it up, and you physically got to let the clutch lever out and raise your RPM to take off and not let it stall, right? Well, with the auto clutch, when you're at an idle and you start to give it throttle, it's instantly moving forward. So that auto clutch is putting that motor through a position where it typically wouldn't be in, or it wasn't designed for, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because it's engaging at such an early RPM. And so for like the small bore bikes, I usually tell people in the EXP springs and then compensate with your idle. Because if you put the stiffer springer and then bump your idle up, when you crack the throttle, and bumping the idle up is the key to closing the gap. Because if you go stiffer springs, low idle, you get a throttle response delay, which no one wants. It doesn't work.
Right.
It's not what you want. But if you compensate with that idle, when you crack the throttle, it's coming in later in the RPM where the meat of the motor is. Like how you're saying earlier, you kind of learn where that torque really is, where the torque in that specific motor is, and you kind of learn the bike in a different way. And so that is really important to understand that. When it's a small bore bike, and depending on how you ride that small bore bike can totally determine what springs go inside your EXP disc. So it's one of those things where you kind of have to, if you have a small bore bike, it's probably going to take a couple tries to get it right. And if you're not willing to try different things, might not be the right product for you. Now, if you got
or
a
you're
KTM
too fat like me on a KTM 200.
Yeah. But if you got a 450 or 500, they got so much bottom end torque, it almost doesn't matter because the bike compensates for it. And so, yeah, you're 100% right. The small bore bikes are definitely harder to get the auto clutches to work. But if you take the time to set them up right, you can get it to work. But your clutch lever is still there, and people should know how to use it. And ultimately, if you're wanting that instant reaction like you get with stock, well, you only get that reaction because you're using the clutch lever. So if you want that same reaction, use the clutch lever.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, but it's kind of funny because I'm so into, if I put it in there, I never want to touch my clutch lever. So I'm riding around on my 200, and it's like kind of, it just gets, I don't want to call it boggy. It just doesn't accelerate. Where the 300, no matter what, if you turn the throttle, accelerates. Well, if I were in the same RPM range and I have my hand off the clutch, the 200 isn't going to accelerate. It's not the clutch it's not the Rekluse that's doing it. It's the fact that the Rekluse is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's engaging and loading the motor up, but the motor doesn't have the torque at that point to make the bike go. So at that point, it's either I need to take it out and set it up a little bit different so it slips a little bit, or it lets the RPMs build a little bit more. This is what we talk about the tuning, so that it engages a little later, so it has the power to pull. Or I need to give it a little pump of the clutch, and if I have to give it a pump of the clutch, then I might as well just have a clutch lever that works all the time.
Sure, yeah.
So anyhow, hey, Mike, thanks a lot for coming on and helping us explain this stuff. And do you still get people that call up and they say they want the Jimmy Lewis setting in their clutch?
I've had a few people do that. Yep, that's for sure.
Well, because I have people that they get the Rekluse, it's just all standard. They bolt it in, they're happy with it and stuff, and they'll say, "Hey, ride my bike." There's a lot of people at our schools or whatever, and I ride it, and I go, "Ride my bike," and they hop on my bike and they go, whoa, how come it's so much smoother, and how come it, it does this, and no, mostly if they lock it up, it doesn't freewheel. And they're like, how do you do that? And I go, well, it's some, and I'll try to play with their idle a little bit and check their free playing in and stuff like that. And I go, I have different springs and wedges in this one. And they're like, oh, how do I get that? I go, just call them up and say you want the Jimmy Lewis setup. And I know Idaho Joe used to know exactly what it was on he had a little note with all the different ones, exactly which wedges and even some of the wedges that I had. He's like, yeah, don't tell me that. I can't get those anymore. There's these weird, like you said, they were wedges made with beryllium and uranium or something like that. Oh, yeah. Probably toxic. So, anyhow,
dialing in the clutches is really what's needed for a lot of people. And that's what I do encourage people is to call us if you're having an issue with the clutch. And it's not doing what you want it to do, give us a call. Most of the time, we can get you right exactly to where you need to be. And there's that rare occasion where, man, that guy just doesn't gel with an auto clutch. It's not for everyone, but I do think for the average rider, man, again, taking a C rider to a B rider, if you don't have all the time to become Graham Jarvis and know how to use a clutch lever like he does, that an auto clutch is a great way to go ride terrain that you wouldn't normally be comfortable in and get to see beautiful country.
Yeah, I literally what I see more is I see guys that think they're A riders, and if they would just put a damn Rekluse in their bike and get off the kick that they can't have one because it's for people that don't know how to ride and old dudes. If they would just put a Rekluse in their bike and take their clutch lever off for a week, they could actually be an A rider.
Yeah,
and I tell this to them all the time, and they don't listen.
There's actually some great video of Hayden Deegan on Star Yamaha of him riding a 450 without a clutch lever. They now use the auto clutch to help train them to not use the clutch lever. So
that's awesome.
I 100% support that. And when we were talking about like the mini bike kids, when you're talking about the mini bike kids, the biggest problem I see, because the kids on the 80s are just so hard on the clutches. They won't let the clutch out. They go around in turns, they go, rawr, you never hear the damn thing engage all the way down the straightaway. It's like, get off the damn clutch. And
right.
It'd be a really good way to, teach those kids. And then when they get on 250Fs, and they continue that habit, it's now you're not just smoking a clutch, you're smoking your entire motor, because that clutch material likes to go through all the little parts. It gets real expensive, Dad.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, hey Mike, thanks a ton for coming on, and hopefully we'll see you out on the trail.
Absolutely, great. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. If you got any other questions, hit me up, Jimmy. Get you a left-hander brake for that bike as well.
Okay, I don't think I'm going there. I've got the one that I took off the other one. It might go on the Husaberg, but I'm not that adaptive yet. Hey, and that okay, and the YZ125 clutch you got me for because I did the Hangtown and stuff like that. I didn't do enough practice starts with it, and I bogged off the damn line because the old clutch would slip. And that was the reason I contacted you. I go, this thing's just it's not engaging. And I should have done about 10 more practice starts because I had really good jumps, and then I let it out too quick. Probably because I'm an old guy that is so used to an auto clutch.
Just try harder.
So, I'll try harder next time. Thanks, Dad. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. See you.
Bye.
All right, see you.
Wow.
Okay.
That's cool. What a company to have a guy like,
Yeah, they've
try
always
calling Apple and asking a guy if they know anything about what they're selling.
Yeah.
Or Dyson vacuums or anything. It's a cool world we live in. A cool industry we're in.
Definitely motorcycle companies that have industry people that are stoked on riding.
It's a lost art to have a company to have a guy like that is available.
Right.
Literally knows his product. Go buy a new Chevy for $100,000. That guy won't know even what motor's in it.
He won't
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, they'll just tell you. They just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And it's the best thing ever. But they're actually, they've always been really honest.
It's fantastic. Mike's great.
In all the years I've been using Rekluse clutches, I have never ever quote smoked a clutch.
Yeah.
And it's literally because I read the instructions when I put them together, and when I test stuff.
Yeah, I rode your Recluses. They're set up really cool.
I don't need to read the instructions. I know, even on that 300, I went ahead and read the instructions. And the funny thing was, I put it all together, and there was something wrong with it. And what was wrong was I couldn't get the free play gain adjusted. So when I put it together, I did not measure the clutch pack thickness. So the first thing I did, and they give you all the specs, I pulled it apart, measured the clutch pack thickness, the EXP thickness, the total thickness, went to their chart. I was setting it, and I did everything right. So I checked everything. I thought maybe it was because I used the gasket instead of just the O-ring on the slave unit. Check that, whatever. So I called them up this morning and said, "Hey, I'm not able to get my gain." I knew how to do it. I actually, because the last time I had it off, I said I know how to fix this, because in the old days you used to have to use spacers on the push rod engagement to get the correct thickness. So I used a Trail Tech kickstand stainless steel washers because they're really thin and I could space it out. So I spaced it out the distance I needed, got my free play gain, went and rode the bike. I'm like, okay, good. Called him up this morning, said, hey, I ran into this little issue. He said, look at this, read me the part number. I looked at the part number, and evidently it was the wrong piston inside of the slave unit. So they're on it, and they're checking to make sure that that's not an issue. It might have just been a mistake. They all look the same from the outside. It's not till you see the little etched number on the inside. But they knew right away. Oh yeah, check this. Bang, done. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, setting those things up is pretty cool. But always good to learn that kind of stuff. Like I said, I don't need them, but. And this leads us to a question. There's a question here that's on the Cove 450. Somebody asked this question, and I'll get to you here. Right there. Is that the one I was talking about, the Recluse? Oh, you want these things?
I'm gonna fake it.
Are these yours or are these mine?
Those are mine. You haven't gone there yet. Don't do it.
No, I have some.
Do you?
They used to be hanging out around here. We're talking about glasses, if you wonder what we're talking about. Jimmy's arm's getting a little bit, it's not long enough. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. David Fucher has a 2023 Jeep.
No, it's the one about the Recluse. He's talking about Recluse clutch. Is it not in there?
Not that one.
Oh, maybe I didn't get it put in there. It would be on the one page before it, if anything. Is it in the document? You see it?
Yeah.
Oh, Logan's going to read it. Logan, get back to doing your job. He's over there falling asleep.
Hi, Jimmy. I have read your articles on the 2017 CRF 450 RX. And
wait, can we hear Logan?
Later.
Oh, we got to turn Logan up. He's still. Which one are you?
Matt.
You're Matt? Okay, so you're Matt there. I got to turn your gain up just a little bit here. Now go ahead and try it.
Hey, Jimmy. No. Yeah.
There it is.
Hey, Jimmy, I have read your articles on the 2017 CRF 450 RX and later articles on the current gen RX 450 RX. I recently purchased a 17 450 RX with a bit of gear on it. However, I was looking for assistance for setup as I am a newer rider. I'm 40 years old, 6'1", 120 kg in metric, from Western Australia. I'm riding here in the southwest of Australia, wood etiquette, to a cross section of soft sand like West Coast America, but mixed with forest style woods race riding and hill climbs, a little like East Coast style, Georgia type. It's a real mix. Bike currently has stock suspension, a Recluse clutch, Acro exhaust system, and Golden Tire GT 333 rear tire, Shinko front tire. I'm after a little pointers of setting up ergos, body position, as well as anything I could do to mellow out the bike to suit myself as a newer beginner class rider.
So that wasn't the right question, but we'll keep going with this one.
No, we
I have to say good day, mate, from Australia. Yeah. Did I do that right? Okay, keep going with this question.
My previous bike was a 2011 KX 250F, and I found the KX seemed to have more grip and more stable front compared with Honda, and I haven't been able to tune it. Understand why. KX had Bridgestone's X30 tires. Would that they be the cause? Front of the Sierra feels like it wants to wash out through the mid parts of the corners. Any tips and ideas would be very much appreciated. I've watched a bunch of vids on YouTube and found them very helpful and informative. Regards, Andrew.
Yeah, say the name.
Subverches.
Subvertiges. Subverts. Okay. Yeah. Andrew, so this is a real easy question to answer, and I think Jimmy's going to agree with me. So when you came to the front end of the Honda feels uncomfortable, and we combine that with Shinko front tire, and I have not ridden a front Shinko tire, and there's a lot of them. I've not ridden a front Shinko tire that works anywhere in the neighborhood of any of my, we'll call them favorite tires. Nothing against Shinko the brand and stuff like that. I just
friends don't let friends ride Shinkos.
Really? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've tried some of their rears are okay. But the front's a little sketchy. So right away, that is 100% probably your problem. The Bridgestone X30 is one of my more favorite tires. It's one of the ones I like. And I will tell you that if you took the best 450 off-road bikes, like the X's, all of them, and you put a unfavorable tire on any one of them, put it on the best one. Let's say the best turning bike in the bunch. And that Honda is probably one of the best turning bikes. It's a Honda, the KTM, depending on your preferences. That if you put that tire on that bike and had the other ones on brands that we would are more familiar with or prefer, it would be the worst. It would go from the best to the worst.
That would be enough to tip the scale that far.
Please understand this, that everybody has preferences on tires, and it's not just the tread pattern, it's the carcass, it's the air pressure running. There's all different kinds of things that can affect this. But the tires, the only thing that are connecting you to the ground, they make more difference than you would imagine. So I think your KX250F, it's a little more sluggish than the Honda in steering, and since it's a 250, it gets lighter. At that point, it's not that the Honda's worse than the Kawasaki. It's going to be a little bit different, but it's 100% the tire. So I don't think there's anything else wrong with your setup. Any of the things, and a lot of times when you're running some of the different rear tires, I kind of like to match my tires, and it's mostly for. I mean, I know a lot of guys that run mixes of stuff, but they just get comfortable with it. I found that when you match your tires, like the carcass characteristics are the same. And so if you mismatch tires, it'd be like running one with 5 pounds PSI and the other one with 15. And you're just going to get sort of this is what I notice. And you can adjust it if you learn it, but I just want to run 12 and a half and 12 and a half.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Or a moose and a moose.
Match tires, yeah.
Yeah. So... Andrew, good question. That wasn't the one I was looking for, Logan. It was one about.
Doesn't say Rekluse any other time.
I know. Yeah, you did good though. You found the one with the Rekluse. So there's a guy that had a cove. That just bought a cove, and he watched our video, and he wondered why I said that I would not put a Rekluse on it, and because I said the clutch pull is so light you really wouldn't need to, and everything, and it just. That on that particular bike, for the way that we are using it, kind of adventure bikes, I don't have Rekluse clutches on any of my adventure bikes, and I don't know exactly why. I just don't. And a lot of times because I use my adventure bikes for doing my schools a lot of time, and I need to demonstrate clutch work. I have to show what to do with the clutch, and if I put the Rekluse on it, then again. If I demonstrate it with a Rekluse in there, we confuse each other. I confuse the Rekluse clutch because you're disengaging it when it's not supposed to, and it doesn't really work. It'd be like relearning how to use the clutch altogether. So, I am not 100% sure why I don't, other than I use the bikes for demo. So I could see putting one in there, and he says I'm just lazy, and I'm like, that's a perfect reason to have one in your cove, because if you're lazy, then it's one less thing to do, and that it'll work just fine. So, anyways, do we have any questions in the chat that are bubbling up at us, Logan?
I'm checking.
It looks good. Is it time for us to take a commercial break?
Let's do it.
Yeah, we need to take a commercial break here. We'll probably pour. We got. What do we have today? Whiskey?
We're doing bourbon.
Bourbon. Oh, we had bourbon tonight.
I think it's bourbon.
Yeah, I might do a little pour, but Logan, go ahead and push the sponsor button, and we'll see you on the backside.
The defending champion, the all-new Yamaha YZ450F.
What's up, Moto Buddies? Mike here from Taco Moto Co. What is the Taco Touch? It's the best service in the industry. Virtually 24/7 tech support via email or text, and it's like having a dirt bike doctor on call every day of the year, helping you fix your bike or recommend parts or setups for you. If you've ever received an order from us, you know that the Taco Touch extends to our fulfillment, and our orders come with the coolest stickers that you've ever had, buying parts from anybody before, and a handful of root beer barrel candies. All of our Taco Moto Co. branded components come with a no questions asked lifetime warranty, and we'll even extend out the warranty of other manufacturers, OEM, and aftermarket parts where we can, sometimes for life. We test and tune endlessly and exhaustively and obsessively. We're trying to destroy everything that we can before you get your hands on it, to look for weaknesses and to improve it, or to make recommendations to the manufacturer. And if it's something that doesn't meet grade, then we don't offer it on the store. Everything that we carry is something that we have personally used, tested, and ridden, and raced, and knows meets the high Taco Touch demanding standard. Go out and get some adventure.
Okay, we are back. Logan was busy asking me questions about our product of the week, brought to you by Bulletproof Designs. Hey, by the way, Jimmy, while you were gone out there making room for
water and cactus.
Yeah, water and cactus. Baker's. It's
cheers.
What exactly is it? It's because Kentucky straight bourbon.
107 proof, baby.
Yeah. So Jimmy's a little bit more of a whiskey bourbon guy than.
Yeah, like our first question here from this guy. He calls you the bourbon expert.
Okay, so you can read that while I have a sip of this.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right.
He's getting armed up to do this.
Ron Wielder. Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is a real cool name, but for the casual browser out there that you are trying to reach, it sounds like Guy Fieri cooking show on a Mexican street tacos. I don't think there is anything in the name that says, hey, this is retired pro racer Jimmy Lewis show, winner of the Baja 1000 Dubai Rally and expert on most things related to dirt bikes, adventure bikes, and fine bourbon.
Okay, you know, how did he even know
Most of that stuff, between the two of us, we got.
Yeah.
The Baja 1000 win, the fine. Yeah, he's talking about both of us here.
Got it. I was just patting myself on the back when he was saying all that, you know.
Well, except for the bourbon.
Okay,
well,
yeah.
but except for one of those things.
But look
we'll
at this.
let the readers decide which one of those
he wrote
things
this.
is.
He wrote this after last show when I asked for comments, and this guy wrote a very articulate. There's a real long.
He
email.
did, yeah.
Very
No.
articulate. Well,
I'm being a jerk.
No, and I took it all, and all the comments I got. There's some really interesting ones,
Yeah.
and I totally agree with them. But I only had you read that because it says that I was
It does fluff you a little bit
bourbon
here.
expert. But he had no idea that we were going to pull bourbon out for this show, and I didn't even.
No, it was my idea.
Oh yeah, I didn't. Oh yeah, that was it. It was your idea. We walked past the stockpile. And
Yeah, I'm like, the bourbon pile's looking higher than
by the way, thank you,
tequila.
Erica. Yeah, Erica. She couldn't travel. Can't travel with open bottles. So guess where they ended up? My house.
She knows rules, don't she?
Yeah. So okay, back to the question or
trust
the
me.
comment.
Yeah. Anyhow, and fine bourbon. I want it. Okay, he doesn't think Tech Talk Taco has the ring that the search guys are looking for. Anyhow, and bourbon. I want to impart my 40 years of experience to you for free. Please support our sponsors as they support us. A new name is in order. Hopefully, guys at Taco Moto will understand. So he thinks we need a new name.
Well, it could start next show, or it could never start, or I could just start a whole new podcast.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how it works out.
I don't know anything about browsers.
I know. I
totally
get him. And he said, in his email, he's talking about he's a newer writer, and it kept getting recommended to him. So Google was doing its job, and YouTube was doing its job, and all the algorithm were doing its job, and then he finally clicked on it, and he said, "Oh, hey, I actually like this," but the name was off-putting to him, and he had no idea who the hell I was. I mean, I don't really like to talk about racing unless we talk.
I mean,
talk about
technically,
myself.
I guess Tech Talk Taco Tuesday doesn't even have the word motorcycle in it. So,
I know,
or dirt bike, which is
well, you're interrupting me, and I'm trying to talk about myself, which I don't really like to do on this show, but it's important now because, Tech Talk Taco Tuesday was all because some people actually dared me to do a podcast. They said, you can't do a podcast. And I'm like, well, the hell I can.
Sure.
So one camera and a Ramiro's Mexican restaurant. I didn't even know what I was going to call it. I wasn't going to call it Jimmy Lewis Sings the Hits. Or I should call it Jimmy Lewis Baja 1000 winner and what else did I do? Oh, Dubai Rally winner. I don't get any credit for getting
Dakar
on the podium
wins?
at Dakar. Well, I've won stages.
Stage wins.
It's like stage wins. It's almost as good. But that freaking Brave guy came along and just made me and Chris.
Made you the second place American
Me and
there.
Chris Blaze look like also rans. Yeah, hardly able to do it at all.
Hired your own assassin there.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you, Ron. I really did appreciate that. And Chris Reel also sent, actually after the show where I quizzed him on the show, I kind of put him on the point. He wrote a very articulate letter and explained some stuff and talked about some of the stuff that he thinks that I should do. And I kind of agree with him on some of it, and others it's not. There's other people that are doing some of the things he suggested better, and I don't think I can compete with them. So I'll skip that. But Bulletproof Products product of the week. This is what we're going to be testing real soon. It's the Counter Shocks. And so what this is I wrote the weight down here. It's a 1 pound, 10.8 ounce, so almost 2 pound, round circular thing. But what's inside of here is a very heavy weight, and it's dampened probably with springs and probably with some sort of fluid. I don't know what's inside of it. I didn't do that much research on it because the way that Jimmy works is I just want to put it on the bike and see what it does. I am very familiar with inertial dampers. So when I started doing supermoto racing, back when I raced, I raced against, some of the guys back then. Yeah, the fast guys. It was one of the places I actually could get on the track and be competitive with guys like Jeremy McGrath and Kevin Schwantz and stuff like this.
Was that Supermoto?
Supermoto. It was just such a new thing nobody figured out. But since I worked at a magazine, people were giving me all kinds of stuff. And before the tires were the thing, when they got special tires, and that's when it got to where I had to get out because I couldn't get the special tires, as many as you really need to do it. A guy gave me an inertial damper that clipped onto the rear axle because the biggest problem in supermoto racing was wheel chatter and hop.
Axle hop, huh?
And it freaking eliminated it. It was amazing. So much so that the inertial damper broke off because it was cast out of like pot metal because it was doing its job and it finally fatigued and broke off.
Yeah.
And I mean, I knew the instant it was gone because all of a sudden my lap times dropped like 2 seconds and the wheels hopping. I'm like, what the heck is wrong? Like, is my tire going flat or something? But anyways, so this one is made by a company called Countershocks. It mounts up on the forks with these clamps. And so they clamp onto the forks and then you clamp the inertial damper in there. Wow. And it doesn't really move much when you shake it around like that.
But you can feel something. I can't explain it. I'm not good enough for that. But.
Yeah. But I have experience. I understand these things work. So I looked at some posts that people were talking about these because I actually do some research sometimes. People were calling it snake oil and other people were calling it magic. And I will guarantee you that it's somewhere in between.
Sure.
The snake oil people were saying if your suspension already works perfect, why would you need to, mask a Band-Aid on it? And it's like, if your suspension's working perfect and you can make it work better, why not?
That's a funny conversation I had this weekend.
Yeah.
We, me and some buddies riding had.
Right.
Yeah.
Who had more money?
No. Suspension guy.
A suspension guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's a tuner. Professional tuner.
Yeah, it's an art. Suspension tuning is an art, and you either like the artist or you don't. I'm not going to say someone's good. There's guys that are hacks, and there's a lot of companies that sell a lot of pretty stuff, and some of it actually works, and a lot of it, I could click your suspension and make it work better. If I could just spray paint on that coating or tell you that there was some silver and gold pieces inside it, we'd be different. But I'm going to test this because I'm very interested because I've had really good experience with it.
You can't dismiss anything, right?
And I'm going to ask to find out why I can't get one for the rear because I'd like to try it on the rear wheel too.
I was going to say,
this is nothing new. This has been around. They use these in Formula One cars. They use them in all different kinds of kinds of stuff. So
how far? Where does this go on the fork?
You can put it either on the side of the fork, down low.
I was going to say maybe as low as you can.
But you really want it. You want it, out of the way, so you'd have it up behind the number plate or behind the headlight thing. It doesn't matter really. It doesn't matter really where it's at.
I was going to say it doesn't matter
as long as it's on the part that's you want it. You want it to counteract with the.
Don't put it on the shiny silver part, probably.
Yeah, you want it on the part that's not moving. It's to counteract that moving part because there's all that weight that's floating up and down. It's basically counteracting what the unsprung weight is doing on your motorcycle. So I will be checking that out in the very near future.
Pretty well made part. I don't think that one's pot metal. I can tell you that.
No, and that was the problem with the other one was the pot metal thing. Mm-hmm. Also have to throw that out to my good buddy Jerry Bernardo. Mm-hmm. He probably is offended that I said that. He has a new book out, Coffee Brewed with Graveyard Mist by Bernardo Jerry.
That's got to be
It's
good.
a collection of poems and stories that throw the emotions and life of death into a blender full of piranhas. I couldn't have said that better myself.
That guy's a wordsmith, man.
Yeah.
Hung around with him. He is a wordsmith.
I didn't know about this. I know Jerry's written some other stuff. He used to have a column in Racer X, the newspaper. It was kind of rated. It went from there has to be something beyond X that it was rated, but it was gnarly sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't make sense. I'm pretty sure these are not the bedtime stories you would want to read if you have nightmares, but if you're up for a good laugh and want to understand Jerry a little bit more, probably read this book or don't. I don't know. I think I'm going to get it just to have it on the collection. And the thing that really pisses me off about it most is like he wrote his book before I wrote mine. So, oh well. Okay. Let's get to some of our questions. And I heard Troy Hicks says the Countershock works very well in the Valley of the Dirt People. Oh, so he's obviously tested one.
He's got one himself.
I guess. So we'll see. I'll tell you what I think, and then that'll trump what everybody else thinks because it's my opinion. It's like everybody else's opinion. You can flush them down the toilet just like the other stuff we all have.
So this one is from CRF 500.
Oh no! This is a picture. Logan, pop the in the Roosterendos. So this is kind of some of the news stuff that popped up this
CRF
week.
500.
So
Y'all.
this company in Italy.
2T.
Yeah, go ahead and turn that on there. The CRF 500 picture. I don't think you have to drag it on there. You can actually just click on that logo or click on the eyeball right there.
Well, so I had to change the picture.
Oh, okay. So we have a picture on the screen right now of what looks like a CRF 450 with a 500 two-stroke motor in it.
Modern perimeter frame with.
It's a company over in Italy that's basically building a kit. So you take your CRF 450 RX, split the cases, put their cases on it. They basically give you a crank, a cylinder, a two-stroke top end. You use all of your Honda four-stroke bottom end stuff. They seal up the crankcase, like they're supposed to, so it works. And you now have almost a Honda-built two-stroke. This thing
That is wild.
And
actually, that's a wild idea.
That's a really good idea. I mean, I've heard of this before. There's the company that BRP, is it BRP, BPR? The other one that makes. I rode one of those the other day. A friend of mine, Kelly Whipple, has one, and I'd ridden it before. It ran like crap. He never twisted the throttle like I did, and I rode it and the twisted the throttle, and I was like, uh-oh. They went back to the mapping machine and got it all mapped out right. I rode it the other day. Holy crap. Like, it's a KTM 300 with a 500 cylinder on it. And it's the same thing. It has cases, crank, piston, all the stuff. What a buttery smooth bike that was.
Really?
But this is kind of a similar thing. I believe it's essentially about a $9,000 kit. So not cheap.
You probably got to supply the CRF.
And you supply your Honda. Yeah, I think the bike, I remember looking at it in euros. I quickly glanced at the pricing and stuff like this. But what a cool idea. Logan, throw the other picture up. You can kind of see the parts that are up there. But it looks Sano. It looks really, really factory.
So I guess you got electric start and things like that too.
Yeah, it keeps the electric start. It keeps it's
All
using
it's
using the Honda ignition. It's water cooled. It uses an electric pump though. So it instead of using the crank driven pump, it uses an electric pump, and it basically they give you an ECU. So it uses a stock ignition, and then they've mapped out an ECU to do all the work. So it's fuel injected. You're using your same.
You need an ECU to work double time. You know that.
Yeah. You're using your Honda fuel injection setup and stuff like that.
Oh no shit! Yeah.
I think this is really cool. It comes with a nice
super cool.
hand cone pipe, but yeah.
Look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Well, I never even thought that was possible.
Operation. So
now, does Honda still have, or do they got the crankcases?
You have a hard time. So they were really popular for remanufacturing a lot of Honda parts.
I know those guys. Yeah, I've seen some of their aluminum frame conversions and stuff like that. They do really.
It's a company called Thomason Racing. It's TOMASIN Racing. So there's the
should I
info
read this
if you're
about
into it. No, it's just a lot. That's a lot of their marketing speech.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they want me to be their importer. I think it would be cool, but I don't really want a job. I mean, there's too many floors.
Responsibility.
I can lay floors and houses, and then I can wash bikes and try to get XR650 started. By the way, my XR650 runs like a top right now. If you want to buy it,
out there looking,
thing is cherry
clean.
Yep, and JimmyLewisOffroad.com is putting out a schedule for our classes this week. So sign up for the newsletter so you can get that answered. And the question is it counterbalanced?
On this thing?
On that thing.
Right.
Yeah.
The four-stroke is.
The four-stroke is, so I imagine that the two-stroke is too. So there's videos of it running on their website. They're racing around a track. Sounds pretty crisp. Sounds pretty good. So all good. What's the next question? That we did that one.
Oh, is that the one we did?
Right.
My bad.
Oh, there was a color. I want to talk about electric bikes because Chris Reel rode some electric bikes. Oh, yeah, Can-Am. So Can-Am a couple weeks ago released their electric bike. They have an adventure bike and kind of a urban bike, And I know we've had Jason Abbott, who's their three-wheeled media market guy, on the show before. And so I went and kind of watched their presentation, and it was just, hey, look, here's what we've got. They're very much still prototype stage, so much so that when I kind of asked about range and weight, they were saying to be determined. But I'm kind of expecting that you're going to see those bikes in production in about a year. And then, and it's kind of, when you see a company like BRP, which is Polaris, and I mean,
they're big. They make
I'm
planes
sorry,
and
Can-Am and Bombardier and you know, all the Can-Am different motorcycle stuff. When you see a company like that getting into it, they feel like there's a big market in this. And that just kind of lends a lot more credibility to these companies. Like
they just released an electric surfboard that's pretty sweet.
Like because they make boats too.
A lot of boats.
Yeah,
more jet skis than anybody probably.
Yep, and so they know how to make vehicles, and they're definitely getting into this electric mobility stuff. And when you see these companies, you know, companies like Sur-Ron and a couple of these other things are going to become kind of mainstream because they got a little bit of a head start, and they have they're starting to work their way up from these kind of toy-like vehicles into vehicles that could potentially be a lot better. And, you know, the major manufacturers are sort of leaving the door open. You know, KTM tried with the Freeride E, which
why is this?
Which by the way, if you want one of those things, they're no longer $12,000. They're like, you know, $7,000 or $8,000, $9,000.
A Freeride?
Yeah, the prices come way down.
Who's that bike for though?
You and three buddies that want to ride around someplace where you can't make any noise.
Just go rip the strip up and down the stairs.
But you could buy three Sur-Rons for the price of two of those.
Sure.
No, it's probably 2 for 1.
Yeah.
You know, so this is where you know the KTM. You know, it's a good high quality product that's been properly durability tested, and then the stuff like the Sur-Rons and these other ones. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, they're piecing things together without a lot of
right. And Flynn 825 wants to know how the WR450 project is coming along. That is coming along nicely. My seat shipped, so I have the seat coming. I have my gas tank, and so the gas tank and seat kind of go together because it needs to be specially cut for that. I have a Scott steering damper, Fasst Company handlebars going on, so it's going to be a typical Jimmy build, and we'll see. I may end up with a Rekluse clutch in it.
I don't know about this bike, but
might just have to get one. It's our test WR450. I'm going to build it into a whatever bikes that Trevor builds. It'll be a killer.
You just go beat his 250s up.
Whatever he has, he's going to have his things. And I'm
going
to
be a 250.
He's doing all the 450s that he's doing right now. But whatever he builds and stuff, I'm just going to bring my WR there, and all I have to do is go through my little power tuner app and go do like that, and it'll be better than all of his. I can make it in any bike, and it'll be Sano. So that's where that's at, Flynn. So now.
All right. So moving on, we got Frank White. So I hear Chris Riel and you do not like our ATK 700.
So Frank White is the one that bought ATK. And then he bought the leftover Cannondale supplies. And then he made the ATK 700.
Is that a two-stroke 700?
It was a two-stroke 700. And Frank contacted me and said, hey, and I said, hey, I think you got 2 of the top 3 worst bikes ever. You now possess the machinery, the equipment to make because Cannondale came up on the list for
Cannondale
and now he converted those into ATKs and stuff like that. And Frank's getting older, and he said maybe he even these days couldn't start a ATK 700. But yeah, Frank, for a guy that had such success in with motorcycle companies here, to have that many of our worst bikes, that's an accolade all of its own. That's that's not easy to do.
Yeah, right. I saw an ATK this weekend. I haven't seen one forever.
Yeah, like a Cannondale ATK or
no,
a two-stroke.
I was old two-stroke 250.
Oh yeah, the old Can-Am.
Yeah.
So it's the Rotax motor with the those are.
Yeah, I was at the Hare and Hound. 70-year-old dude was riding it.
Right on.
Yeah, amen. Right.
Some people love that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
He was a good rider, I think.
Where are we at?
What I saw. Okay. Good evening.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so Your faithful.
No, good evening, Jimmy and crew.
Oh, good evening, Jimmy and crew members. I have recently
That's
purchased
you.
a new.
Or maybe I'm the crew member on this.
I recently purchased a new front rotor guard, STR, and I am now looking for a dirt bike to install it on. What do you? So it's got a good start. He's got a rotor guard.
Right. That's where you want to start with almost any
This
bike.
dude's gnarly.
Like the fact that I have that much influence that I can get somebody to buy. See, I'm an influencer, YouTube. I mean, Instagram, whatever. I'm gonna actually,
That's Bill Hall, by the way.
yeah, I can influence somebody to buy a front brake rotor protector because they hate me because they're just doing it to spite me, and then they're gonna buy a bike to put it on. What bike should he put it on? There's no doubt, an ATK 700.
It's right there.
That's what you do. I've run into Flavor Flav a couple times, in Vegas, tequila tasting, different things. I'm getting my disc rotor out of there, and I'm making myself a freaking
clock. Getting a boy out of him.
I'm running front disc rotor around the neck. Yeah.
Right.
Let's get it.
All right, Jimmy. Thank you for all your reviews on DBT. If you have time, just a couple of questions. I recently bought a 15 Husky FE501S. Does that mean supermoto or what is that?
No, it's a street legal one.
Street, that's what. That's what I'm gonna say. Stock, other than suspension and seat, it has pro taper bars. Plan on riding dual sport BDRs primarily, but I still want to hit the desert, mainly Akatia Wells, Red Mountain, and SoCal. What are your ideas on tires for dual sport, and any of their setup ideas? My background for riding has been open desert. Thanks for any info you have and time to suggest.
He asked.
What kind of tires
it said
for
Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
He's asking you. What tires do you think I would say?
Oh, well, I know you like the Parker DTs. I think those are even DOT, aren't they?
Kenda Parker DTs that are
they
DOT.
DOT?
That's what I put on the bike in the test.
I love those tires. Are they DOT?
Yeah, they're DOT.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Either that or that and an equilibrium on the back. So like in the summer, I tend to run the equilibrium. In the winter, I tend to run the Parker DT in the rear. But that's a great set of tires, and I have to say that Kenda does support my off-road riding schools. Great supporter of our schools. So, but there are all different kinds of tires. The cool thing about the tires, if you don't like them, just take them off and get another set. And if you take them off quick enough, you can sell them for half what you paid for.
Yeah, like all these people you're never married to your tires, man.
No.
I never.
And we started off talking the show about how you can put the wrong front tire. And someone in the chat said that there's good Shinko tires. They were happy with the Shinko tires. So.
Yeah, good. God bless them.
Hey, so yeah, but I've just really fell in love with the Parker DTs, and I put them on that particular bike, and they enhanced everything it did. I just like my KTM's that I run them on, and I'm really happy with the Dunlops on the Yamaha WR, which is strange for me to say because I'm never really happy with the Dunlops, but on the WR. But I can't wait.
That guy.
I can't wait to put some Kendas on the WR, which probably will do also. One of our guys, Sean Casey.
Do you make sure you're on DOT when you're riding dual sport?
Not on purpose, but it sure does help. Yeah, No, I don't care. But if it ever came down to it, Sean Casey says to be an influencer, you have to first be worthless. Are you saying I'm not worthless?
I think that's what he's saying.
Thank you. Yeah, Kenda says the Kendas are. Victor says Kendas are great. Okay,
hey, Victor.
Next question.
Okay, John Rowe, Cove. I'm in Africa and our fuel sucks. So how easy or hard is it to remove all the emission stuff on the, i.e. the cat, charcoal canister, etc.? Is there anything else? And I'm assuming the ECU would need remap to richen it up.
This is on the
Cove.
Yeah, so on the Cove 450 video. So the answer is I have no idea because we didn't try to do any of that stuff. We just rode the bike stock, kind of the way that I feel that motorcycles should be tested. Mostly stock. And that way you have, you don't just go and modify something until you have a fair amount of time on it.
Really.
Modify it. So I know that they're able to do some work with the ECUs because they have a competition one, and I suspect that there's going to be people that'll get in there and do mapping. I don't know if the ECU is very similar to some other bike or it's their own unique one. It didn't look like anything I'd seen before, but having done work with Christini's in the past, there is tuning software that you can get your hands on to do this. I don't know how bad your fuel is there, but I tell you what, it's probably not any worse than the fuel they have in China.
Really?
I think there's places with lesser quality fuel, and those bikes are being shipped all over the world. If you have a good importer in your country, like the importer here is really proactive on paying attention to this stuff, they will probably have some sort of a setup for you to make that work. But I can't speak specifically to your thing. But taking the emissions stuff off, quote the emissions delete stuff off, that doesn't affect. It leans the bike out is what it does, because it's actually it's sucking the fumes out into the canister, and then the engine's sucking those fumes back in. So technically, it riches the bike up. So all these guys that are like, oh yeah, I did an emissions delete and made my bike run better. I'm like, it's already lean, and you want it to run leaner? I mean, it's not much leaner, but it is leaner. So
Right.
Yeah. Next one.
And that's part of the deal is all those guys that get emissions kind of set them up a little too lean anyway, right?
Right. Yeah.
Perhaps two teeth up on. I think this is a fault of the other half of his question.
No, it's a different guy.
Oh, okay. Another Cove.
Yep.
Oh, it is a different guy. American 96. Perhaps two teeth up on the rear sprocket might help the bottom end
So here's the funny thing about
on the Cove.
when you start changing the gearing on bikes, and people say, yeah, it'll help the bottom end. It doesn't really change the way the engine performs. It just lowers the gear ratio, so it makes it work easier. So if it's a little lacking, it doesn't have the power, then by changing the gearing, you're fooling the engine into acting like it has more power. So yes, that is something that would happen on that bike. For what we use it for adventure touring, for sure, I would not change it. But if I were going to do more trail riding, more aggressive stuff, it would definitely. I wouldn't say two teeth in the rear. I'd go one up or one down on the counter.
That big of a change.
Yeah, at least three teeth.
Closer
At least three teeth on the rear.
Yeah,
and maybe even more. Maybe even one on the counter and one or two on the rear, because really kind of narrow it back up. But the motor, like I said, the motor is like a 350. It's not super spectacular. And it's funny because I still remember some dig-dongs on one of those influencer people, like talking about how the bike had too much power and was too snappy. And I'm like, what? What are you comparing it to?
So,
yeah, but anyways, a KLR 650?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Those things will tear your arms out.
Yeah, took one stroke at a time.
Okay, I like this guy's name. Taiwan on 1614.
Okay.
The typical GPX bike is for 2016 KTM frame. WEP Showa suspension outside. What? But other brand internals and Honda wheels, brakes, sprockets, etc. Those NC motors are reliable too. I liked his name. Everything after that. What is this guy talking about?
Well, he knows. He's kind of on point there. He's just pointing.
He's just naming stuff.
Hey, I'm glad that they're putting comments on our posts, because
What is a GPX bike?
Better. GPX is the importer for the Cove.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
better learn about that bike.
It's like a lot of those things, and all those factories in China are all producing the same. It's like they're producing a lot of the same stuff and different things. You throwing shit at me, Logan?
No.
Did you fall asleep? Did you fall asleep and tip over there?
No.
Show's good tonight, huh?
The 107 proof got Logan over there.
Oh, just from the whiffs of it?
I wouldn't count on that, but
When we weren't looking. Yeah. Hey, do you have any new friends in the Vegas community with the first name of Officer?
No.
No? No, you're doing good. You're staying out of trouble. Good boy. That work will straighten your ass out. Okay. But yeah, no, I agree. And the NC motors. I don't know what NC, but
what's a WP Showa suspension? Has it got one of each on?
It's like a Showa on the outside, but WP-ish internals on the inside. But they that's what they do. It's like, I don't want to say they copy everything, but they copy everything.
They do, and they piecemeal it all or whatever.
They make it work, because that bike, like I said, I was frankly very surprised.
Honda
with
wheels?
Yeah, they're not Honda wheels. They're shaped the same.
Round, yeah.
Yeah, they're round.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
All right, Mr. David Fuscher. My 2023 GPX FSE 250E
So this is the 254 stroke ish KTM ish knockoff
WP Showa
bike. Yeah.
Okay. Has had the ignition cut out and put me on the side of the road about 7 times in 400 miles. I put on it. Seems to be heat related. All connections tight. Guess I'll start replacing the ignition boot, wires, plugs, and coils. Also,
Do the stator. No, do replace the stator. This sounds if it's heat related, it's what happens is like maybe the epoxy inside the stator isn't that good, and a wire wiggles and it causes a short or a fault. I've always just when your symptoms, I would feel very comfortable replacing the stator. But keep going.
Okay. Also have extreme fork stiction, but not from the seals. I don't know how I would be able to trust a Cove. It's funny that I always seem to get the bad one, while the YouTubers get the good ones. Oh, well.
So, we got the good one. We got the same good one that everybody else
Not
rode.
a lot of fork stiction?
No, there was no fork stiction in this. So I would not be surprised if it's not the seals. So if you take the forks off and they slide individually nicely, check your axle and wheel
Do you
alignment.
think he just pulled the dust covers down and thought he was taking the seals off? How do you test it without the seals?
Well, you just move it. He just moved it, and he was trying to see if it was the seals that were sticking on the sliders. Just by pushing on it and moving it.
Wow, okay.
Because have you ever had like really sticky fork seals?
Yeah, go buy anything.
4CS forks, yes.
4CSs, or even like you go buy something new KYBs. The first 10 minutes on those things.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah, they got to break in. So, but I would be willing to bet that you have a misaligned front end, and that maybe there's some torque on the. It's not
maybe
assembled
like
properly.
His, pinch bolts are bad.
Maybe the pinch bolts.
Check your pinch bolts, bro. Learn how to do that.
Yeah, the way you're seating the axle is not proper. Maybe the disc is not necessarily. This is the kind of stuff that you will get with.
Who preps those bikes?
Not popular brands.
Who sells them? Are they sold in like the same type of shops?
Yeah, whether it's prepped or whether it's actually the build. Because I have seen, we bought this mini bike at Dirt Rider. I just went down to the local lawnmower shop that sold this mini Aprilia 450 that was a 110 pit bike, and I said, that looks cool, I'm buying it. And you would not believe when we went in there to buy it. And the guy goes, he's like, he thought we were a little big for it, which we were, but he goes, what are you gonna do with it? We're like, we're gonna go off some sick jumps because this thing do sick jumps? And he went right into sales mode. He's like, oh yeah, that's the best one for sick jumps. I mean, we got one over here that's better, but like that's the one all my jumpers come in and buy, and it was. But anyways, so we got this thing, and the first thing I did was got it, and I kind of took it apart a little bit just to see stuff. And I don't know if it was this bike or another one, but one of them, actually the disc rotor was installed on the other side of the pads. So
gotcha.
So the pads were on pins, and it was actually pinching on the pad holding. The two pads were next to each other. Then the disc rotor, then the caliper.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, are these things being sold at like?
So I said, oh, this is interesting. So I went back and looked in the shop. They were all like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, like, do they not know, or is that actually a thing? So when I took it apart and I started playing around with it, it was really hard to get the disc rotor in there. So I actually had to space the caliper.
Probably the floating caliper.
It wasn't floating.
I was gonna say, it didn't have one
floating.
Of those.
Yeah, I had to space the caliper over to get it to line with the disc. This is the root cause of the problem. But this is the way they were being sold, and they don't care. It's just like, I make fork, I make brake, I make wheel.
Yeah, that's all easy stuff to line up.
I put together.
Especially wheels. Get into the wheel intricacies of wheels and stuff like that, and spacers and axles,
angles
and
of spokes, different kind of 2-cross, 3-cross spoking.
You really want a company that knows what they're doing to do that stuff.
Yeah,
especially like axle alignment on forks and things like that.
So you may be getting the lemon, or you may be getting the normal ones. And if the importer is good, I for sure, and this is why I kind of didn't give them a whole lot of warning. It was just, give me that bike, I'm going to ride it back to Nevada. I mean, it was a little more cordial than that.
A little more.
But I'd seen the bike had been around, but you're going to start seeing it real soon because a lot of customers are buying them. There's a lot of people that are really happy with them. A couple of people have a few questions because I pay attention a little bit on the forums just because I want to see where this goes. But you may have got the bad one. But man, I tell you what, when I went to some of the shows and there's the Asian Bike Pavilion and you walk through there and there's 5 versions of the same thing with different names on them,
names and colors.
It's and you look at it closely and you go, oh, this guy cheaped out on the plastic because his plastic's like a millimeter thick where the other one's 3 millimeters thick.
Yeah.
Just and they can probably order them that way, or that's just what you get. I don't know. It's not like a Honda or a Yamaha or Kawasaki or a Suzuki or a KTM that have been around for a long time and they depend on their reputation. And it looks, from my impression, Cove specifically, I don't know about the other GPX products. Their mini bikes sometimes are a little bit sketchy, but they got better at it. And
yeah, everybody's getting better at that.
They have to just to survive.
They have to, and I mean, you have to learn on. Go look at a Tesla. You'll see a lot of things like that on those.
Yeah, there's some.
They're a new
stuff
car
too.
company.
Jason Reeves says KTM 500 versus Husky 500. Jason, that comes down to PDS versus linkage suspension, or whether you like white or orange better. I tend to like PDS suspension, and I like orange better, but the Husky has a little bit wider range and where the suspension works without you having to go into the clickers. Let's say if you set them up at a baseline, the Husky has a little bit wider range in my opinion, but there's some things about the Husky, the power characteristics just ever so slightly different, not in my favor. So if there's any chance you could get a chance to ride both those things, but in reality most people wouldn't notice any of the differences anyway, so it's probably which color you like better. Hopefully that helps your quest. So okay, we got another one down there.
Down here we do, yeah.
Okay. So if you're wondering how we do this show, basically if you comment in our YouTube videos, comment on the things, send us an email. It's really not that hard to figure out our emails here. Let us know if you have a question we can answer, or just get in the watch the show when it's live and you can chat and the question we answer it straight away. Just like look, it popped up. Asher Lito. I have no idea how there is no USA made dirt bike company and how low volume, high margin dirt bikes are. You would think a company would come along. Cannondale tried it.
Try manufacturing anything here. See what payroll. It's absurd.
Yeah,
it's all absurd to try to. We got every American company has a greedy partner.
Yeah.
It's called Uncle Sam. He's pretty greedy.
Flynn, no, I've not ridden a Aprilia Touareg 660. I talked to them about it, and they were. They were excited, but then they went down Influencer Boulevard. There was guys with more Instagram followers than me that got to ride those things. That's why I need 20,000. Get your damn friends to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like us on the Instabook face things, Twitter, Grindr, whatever we do. Okay.
Back here?
Yeah.
From No Strength, what do you guys weigh?
That's a personal question.
I weigh 103 kangaroos.
103 kangaroos?
Somebody weighed me in kilograms the other day, and it was.
That's a lot. I used to
230.
When I was racing, I think I was like 88 kg or something. But actually I hit 190 the other day. I went down. Yeah, dropped 10.
I'm actually headed the right way, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Now, YZ85? What's your height?
That's a personal question too. What are we doing here with these? Come on, I'm
9.5 toes tall.
9.5 toes tall.
5'8" and 7/10. I don't know. No.
I thought you're missing a toe and a half, not just half.
Well, I'm missing a toe and half of a finger, part of a finger and a most of a toe, but that doesn't affect my height.
I don't know. If he's asking how high you should be for a YZ85, I think
I can ride one. I can rip around one of those things.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah. No, I've been pretty well. I got getting a low boy scrunch thing.
That's why I would like, you can't ride. Surons and all those are cool, but they're basically the size of.
I want to get one so I can just see how long it takes to break in half. Because some of these frame designs,
the forks are
just bend.
You won't make it 10 minutes.
Hey, but they have a cool coating on them.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. Yeah, they are coated. You wouldn't make a set of forks wouldn't last you 10 seconds. Yeah.
You broken one yet, Logan? You don't have one. You haven't broke your friends?
No.
They won't let you ride it.
He hasn't ridden much.
Yeah.
One.
Just one wheel guy.
I don't like how they're like
They're 2 seat high or something. If you
Yeah.
ride dirt bikes,
they come.
they're
in the air
really
and
stink buggy feeling.
No, it's just like they just found a motor and welded
Yeah,
a frame around it. and
they did not. The geometry guy skipped that day.
it's funny.
I'll
'cause
be dead
I've-
honest. I'm not saying you can't ride them. That people are. That's obvious.
Yeah, out of curiosity, I watched some of these electric bike review
They're
guys.
horribly
and,
uncomfortable, though.
And yeah, these guys that it's like, have you ridden dirt bikes? And I think a lot of them have come in from mountain bikes. They were kind of in the mountain bike scheme of things, and they just kind of converted over, and they were just talking about these things like, man, how shitty did your mountain bike handle? So
Yeah, how darty was that thing?
okay, we're gonna get pretty quick.
All right, let's roll.
We're gonna get pretty quick here. We'll probably stop at the end of the Cove questions, or no, we're already past them because we got to do Rooster Endo.
WR450F total glitch asks, can you ride these on the road at 65 miles an hour for 30 miles without consistently rebuilding the engine?
Well, I don't like rebuilding the engine while I'm going 65 miles an hour on the highway. So I would say that the answer is yes. You can.
That's
pull-
nothing for that motor.
no. They're
That is
so
nothing
overbuilt.
for that.
No, I would ride it 90 miles an hour for an hour and a half, and that would still not be full throttle, by the way, because it goes like 102. I know this because I did it the other day, or at least one with a and a slip-on exhaust and the tuned ECU. I did it for 7 or 8 minutes on the dry lake bed just to do it for the heck of it.
But
But
that's
okay.
nothing for that motor.
So we're
it'll do that for hundreds of hours.
Yeah, we're gonna swing over to we're gonna switch gears and go into Rooster Endo.
Let's do it.
So I think this is the first
Rooster
one.
Endo.
We got to get because someone, and this is what you got to get.
This is okay. Logan, you gonna find that?
You got to put up the DRZ 400.
Yeah.
I think it's
05.
Asher's photo.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
All right. 05 Zook DRZ 400S.
What's his name? Is it Asher? Is it?
I don't have it.
Oh boy, he sent me some emails. He was really wanting to make sure we got this.
Is that the
thing.
picture right there?
That's the picture.
Okay.
It's a pretty
Sweet
view.
mountains.
I think this is also a resubmission. To be honest,
It
with
is,
you.
yeah.
We've seen this.
He said he's
before.
added a bunch of stuff to it.
Okay.
He's got Race Tech springs. Cool.
Can't see him.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. 3.9 IMS tank.
I can see that.
Yep. Pro Taper CR high bends. Tusk full wrap handguards. Zeta triple cramp with handguard mount. Amazon tack, pegs, case saver, and blinkers. Amazon? Okay. Tusk
That would be one thing that I would suggest getting on Amazon. And if you do shop through Amazon, by the way, you can click through the link on Dirt Bike Test, and we get
CC.
a little small thing of that. We're one of those.
get a smidge
we're one
there.
of those. What do they call us? We're not influencers. We're affiliates.
Yeah, affiliate.
Yeah, affiliate us. Give us, especially when you're buying big screen TVs and backyard pools. Okay, keep going. Park.
Yeah, okay. After the Amazon tack, pegs. Amazon pegs?
Amazon pegs.
Yeah, foot pegs. Tusk clutch lever with custom added pivot bearing. Moose easy pull system.
And if you're shopping for Tusk stuff, go to Rocky Mountain MC through the link on Dirt Bike Test as well. Same things. Oh, wow. Mark just straight went to Endo. You haven't even got to the end of the list yet. Keep going.
Yeah. Tusk high performance clutch. Backup kickstart. New left radiator. I guess that means...
There was a little tip over involved. You know, Bulletproof Designs makes radiator guards. I don't know if they make them for this particular DRZ. They probably do because they've been around forever.
Oh, nope. He got smart. He got Flatlands.
Oh, Flatland
Radiator
Racing.
guards and
Yep,
skid plate.
That's okay. But I would go with Bulletproof Designs because they are a
It says
sponsor of the show.
re-welded the frame, which means it broke once and then bad
What is
weld.
he doing with that thing?
He's shredding, bro.
Yeah.
He's a shredder. Electrical tape numbers. He putting up hashtag 711 on there. Custom license plate holder by the president of San Diego Off-Road Coalition.
So there's one more line there, and he also says if you are in
P.S. If you live in SoCal, join San Diego Off-Road Coalition. Your membership helps open new trails.
Yes.
Love to hear that.
So,
I'll
yeah.
drink to that.
So it's Asher Petkevich. Asher Petkevich. So I'm gonna. That's a pretty picture. And in Roosterendo, we do like to see the bike.
Something, yeah.
And I'm seeing a lot of ass.
Do you get a feeling this guy rides a lot, though?
I
don't really know why I could say that, but I feel like this guy rides a lot.
I think he rides a lot, yeah. And
I don't necessarily love his bike setup,
his
but
tires are worn out. I mean, but he's got a DRZ. He's mobbing the thing for sure.
yeah.
I mean, he's breaking frames and doing that stuff. Tires are worn out. It's a pretty picture. It looks like he's end of a nice day.
cool area for sure.
Yeah,
It's the mountain high.
Yeah, up on a nice gravel road up there.
I got a feeling that guy rides a lot, which that's the real secret to all of it, right?
13,000 miles off road.
Oh, I didn't see that.
So it's Asher Leto. So that's his.
13.
That's
a lot.
Stage name. Yeah, that's a lot.
How do I have those feelings about these guys?
I want.
I don't know how I know.
I know. I want to see the.
fun here.
I want to see more of the bike, but maybe he's trying to catch some of the reflection off the gas tank there, on the side.
Seek numbers. I'm gonna say for 13K miles that thing roosts because
Okay,
anything you ride like that.
I'm gonna go with Roost also.
Yeah.
I even though Mark
Purely because he
endoed
rides it, right?
Yeah. What's our next guy?
We got Michael Thompson, 2012 WR450F Tour of Idaho Special.
He calls this one. He named it after
See this
Trump's girlfriend, Stormy.
Stormy. We got flex bars on it. Love that. Impact pegs from Fasst. Same people that make the handlebars.
Yep.
Seat concept seat. Looks like Rocky Mountain ATV Tusk wraparound handguards. Kenda Parker DTs. Trail Tech.
He's lying. That's not a Parker on the front.
It's not.
No,
totally
it
not.
looks like a Pirelli or a Michelin.
Yeah, it's totally not.
Okay. Yeah, I think
That's
he's-
the first thing you spot about Kenda.
I think he's going for.
That front
butter.
tire's weird looking.
Oh yeah, it looks like little
You
erasers.
can spot it.
Yeah, I think he's buttering. He's buttering us up, trying to throw down a couple of my.
He
sponsors.
is. He's throwing down some stuff here.
Okay, where do we go?
You got a Trail Tech Voyager Pro with the fan kit.
With a fan kit.
Well,
The Trail Tech Voyager Pro and
the
a
fan kit. Yeah.
I'm like, are you?
Oh, it does say and. My bad.
Hey, he needs to go take the Trail Tech Voyager survey, which I'm going to go ahead and throw up in the chat. If you're listening right now and you want to influence the future of,
I'll do it.
you'll do it. Logan's going to do it for me, so I can pay attention.
Okay.
Trail Tech is looking for some feedback on GPS units, and you could win $500. And if you win $500, since I told you about it, I would like a small portion of that money so that I can afford to buy more whiskey, bourbon, because Jimmy's going to drink this thing dry by the time we get done with this list. Keep going.
Yep. I don't work for free. A Wolfman fender and headlight bag. What's a headlight bag?
It's a bag that flops over the top of your headlight.
That is the one thing I'm not loving.
Really, I like to put them on the other side, but I only like to carry like my registration in there because that is a really high. It's almost as bad as a tank bag. It just doesn't hit you in the nuts.
Yeah. What do you put in there?
A jacket.
Yeah.
A windbreaker.
Yeah, something light, huh?
Right.
You'd feel it kind of weirdly if it was too heavy, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, like remember those Cherbys gas tanks that bolt onto your front
Yeah, I do
plate?
remember that. I never used one, but they weren't long lived. Giant loop saddlebag and gas bags. So, yeah.
Yeah, on the WR, that's a big problem is the fuel capacity.
Yeah, they got the backwards motor, right?
No, he's on the forward motor still.
Oh, okay. So gas tank in the kind of traditional spot on that.
Yep.
Okay. Thumper Jockey 3000 lights. I can't see them, but I don't know what those are. Probably good lights, right?
No idea. It sounds like Amazon.
I was gonna say there's not like a
That's our list. Well,
cool bike.
is it
a Tour Idaho special?
It's Tour of Idaho special, and if you're doing Tour
That's what
Idaho,
he
you
called
definitely have to carry a lot of gas on that particular bike. His license plate looks like it's a cooking tray on the back fender. I think that's what's up there. Or maybe that's part of the rack.
No, I think that's the fender, and then the mount's actually pretty low.
Well, yeah, the thing's up there. That was a very confusing year for the Yamaha WR450. I have one of those bikes. It's my DJ Rodney O bike.
That's what
That's what that is.
I
It's
love
one of
that.
those.
Yeah.
Yamaha's always made a good motor. It's the 5-valve motor.
Say that motor runs really good on the DJ XR 500.
And so, nice. It's a nice, pretty picture, except you dropped your gloves on the ground. And so he's probably going to hop on there and he's going to wonder in 3 miles why his hands are cold.
No, he just doesn't have media gloves, man. He had to throw them, had to abandon those things.
Yeah. And he probably was, he's riding with his buddies and they're all hauling ass and he had to get off and take a photo and he just did it really quick.
Can you tell where he's at? You've ridden everywhere. Where would you call that?
I want to say that's, well, of course he said Tour of Idaho. I want to say that's kind of, it's one mountain range to the east of Sun Valley.
No, that's amazing, right?
Yeah, it's just where it feels like
Tune in, folks.
to me. But your photo is backlit in a very improper way. I'm not liking. I don't get to see the shine of the bike. Did he talk about his grip tape on the frame? Sell his grip tape on the frame.
There's grip tape on the frame or those
some sticky
guards or something.
Sticky pads. Yeah, and kind of
What about that chain? It look adjusted right?
It's a gold chain. What else matters? It can swing low.
It's not sagging.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah, I like the Tour Idaho bike. I'm gonna go with. Oh boy, I hate to. Yeah. It's purposeful. It's very, very purposeful, and the photo is pissing me off because see, people would send me pictures like this when I was at the magazine. They're like, "Why didn't you put my picture in there?" Because the picture looks like shit. Excuse my French.
I mean,
but it's not lit. I know you can't carry strobes around. I know you got to catch back up to your buddies after this. That is not a Parker DT on the front, is it?
No.
Is it?
No.
No.
Definitely
It doesn't have the right shape. It's weird on the side, unless all the center knobs are gone.
No.
Logan, can you zoom in on it?
I can see it. It's not.
Yeah. Nope. No.
Michelin, maybe.
It does look like the Michelin.
I see them. It looks like
go scroll to the rear tire. Go over by the rear tire so you can take a look at that thing. It's wasted too.
Hard to see. Yeah, it's been used.
Oh, that's a Kendall Barker TT on the back. It says so right on the label.
Sure does.
That thing's chewed up. If you're only on day 2 of the Tour of Idaho and your tire looks like that, buddy, you got to quit spinning that tire.
I see steg pegs on there too.
Steg pegs. I'm not a fan of those, but that's me. You need to. Look at the scratches on that thing. Yeah. No wonder he has it leaned over outside of the line.
Yeah,
she's a hammered beast.
I love it.
Oh God,
I'm liking it.
I guess other than the photo, I'm going with the roots. And look at the Scotch tape hanging on the zip tie.
We got lots of GPSs and stuff up there.
Yeah,
too,
well, you need that for Tour of Idaho. Okay, next we're giving it a roost. Next contestant.
All right, is baby Chris real?
Chris Real. We've heard of this guy before.
This guy, yeah, he's.
I don't even know if he knew he was.
Deal.
I don't even
know him.
if he knew he was submitting this photo or not, but he did.
Wow, what the hell? I don't know what this is, but his 2022 Husqvarna 901 Norden.
Yeah.
Sweet. I didn't know they made that, but I've added
It's a KTM 890.
Really?
Yeah, 890, 901. They're kind of close. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
it's kind of like the KTM 500 and the Husky 501. They're kind of the same
looking.
but different. The Norden has its own specific shape and profile.
Yeah, it's definitely
right.
Definitely looks like a sweet rally bike.
Like the helmet, Chris is rocking the Climb helmet. I see it there, but he's loaded and ready for bear.
He is headed up. I've added a few personal items to make this bike since the photo. Double take mirrors.
That's a really good mod.
That's a win. Ram ball mounts for my communication gear. A Remus exhaust and a nice Rekluse clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Oh, he contacted me. He was struggling with the Rekluse in the beginning. I wonder if he got it completely sorted. But yeah, if he said nice, then I guess he's got it right because he's a picky guy.
This next sentence will tell you most likely that. And the other minor custom additions that I've relocated the hard luggage cases about 3 inches forward and leveled them to support my soft top bag. That's a picky guy, but
because when he rides around, he's a lot of times taking a lot of test equipment with him. Whether it's sound testing equipment or some of his brake dynamics testing and different things. So that's why he has a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So he probably goes a little. You don't want too much hanging off the back, obviously.
Well,
right?
3 inches is a lot.
That's
some
huge.
people's, yeah. Like it can make a big difference, I'm told.
Yeah, the relocation of the boxes move the weight forward of the rear axle, and this minimizes the high-speed wind wiggle when I am loaded heavy.
Yeah.
There you go. Makes sense. This bike is not my dirt bike, but technology is appreciated on the dirt roads, and that lead to my touring and camping spots.
Well, I was right way just gonna just attack him on the tires because they're just a little bit round. You know, they Kenda does make the big block, which is a little more open, but pretty good. Look at his fender extension on the back.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
He's got so it's like a big long. That's probably something he's testing, some top secret crap. Some no splash fenders, or it's some regulation that we're gonna have in the So that's where your fenders are gonna start hanging down in 2026.
Yeah, he's kind of one of them leading edge guys.
Thank you, California and Austria. Oh, he doesn't like it. He has to.
No. I don't. I'm saying.
Yeah, he doesn't like it, but he has to try it. So
yeah, no, he's kind of like.
Yeah, that bike roosts for its particular thing, except for the tires. So I'm gonna just because the tires are the only thing connecting to the ground, Chris. I'm gonna endo. Nice. That's pretty. Look at that's such a good day to go riding if there's still that much snow in the mountains and it's all dry out on roads. You could be dragging foot pegs. So endo.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
I think that's it on the.
Oh,
bikes.
you gotta rate the bike.
Oh, where am I on it?
Yeah.
I love that thing. I like that. I honestly didn't even know they I never know they
you
Husky
didn't know
made a
that
bike
was.
that looked like that.
You're just a dirt bike guy.
I guess, God, I don't know. I ain't keeping up
Matching
with that.
bike and helmet. Yeah, he's got the stripe in there.
I like it. It reminds me a lot of the old, I still love the.
It's a GT
990.
tire, says Mike Thompson. It's a Grand Touring. Yeah, that's what he's doing with it. I just have to be mean.
Looks like a pretty.
Logan, what do you think?
Any bike that looks like an old Dakar bike, I'm all in on.
It does have that Lucky Strike Kajiva shape to
exactly.
it, doesn't
Like
it?
the old. Exactly.
Yeah, there's a picture of one of those in the picture that Ryan handed you that's right above your head. The one that Day and Laporte is on the Albatross.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that bike.
Yeah, it does kind of have that
bike.
look to it. I like
Pretty.
it.
Oh, you can't see it in the thing because the turn off the chat thing.
The upper right corner there.
It's one of those things. Yeah, right up there. We just made it live on the screen. So if you're just watching now, you can see the picture. God, I feel bad for cutting off Ryan's artwork. Yeah, leave the chat
He's
off for a
having
little
baby,
while.
you know.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you find this stuff out? Is that what social media is for?
BFFs on Facebook.
To announce your babies. That's probably why I didn't have any, because I didn't have social medias. So okay. Next one.
Oh, that's the bikes. That's all the Rooserendos.
No, there's got to be another one in there. Ian. Really? Didn't make it? Ian Landis?
Oh, this is Supermoto. I'll tell you what it's got.
Okay.
Got Supermoto wheels.
Oh, this is a resubmit. It's a really short one. It's a really short one right up. Roosterendo. Maybe I deleted off the.
Might have it.
I'm not really sure what.
Got some mag wheels on
He's just diving in hot for the.
Got an FMF
the
exhaust
$100
on it.
Tech Talk. So this is a Taco Moto. By the way, Taco Moto and Tech Talk Taco Tuesday are two completely separate things. Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is my stupid idea, and the good idea that Mike Spurgeon had to invent Taco Moto in Las Vegas is a completely separate thing.
So, we got a 2-stroke Supermoto, right?
No, it's just a 4-stroke with a big giant header on it.
Oh, God. Okay.
So he's leaning
Yeah, it
it.
is a 4-stroke.
He has a kickstand, but he's leaning it on the gas pump.
That thing's lowered. The forks are sawed off.
But he's got an adjustable kickstand.
Yeah. Yeah,
and,
I see that.
and mag wheels, and he's parked next to the diesel pump. Good on him. Is that a carbon fiber gas tank? I think it is.
Oh, I think you're right. All kind of low slungy type.
Yeah, there's a lot to be
That's an expensive bike.
viewed on this
Yeah,
thing.
the FMF titanium exhaust.
But the fact that you would wreck it by putting Supermoto wheels on it, you know what could use an inertial damper on both ends? That bike. He could use the counter shocks on that thing for
thing, probably.
sure.
He's got mega front rotors on it. Probably a big, yeah.
He needs duals on the front of that thing. That would make
What
it super
is it?
custom.
Is that a Husqvarna? I would say so
it
by
has
that front fender.
Has a linkage, yeah. It has a linkage, so it's hard.
there you go,
Yeah, I think it's
Looks like a Husqvarna front fender, I guess.
So I'm going with I remember when he first submitted this, I liked the shark graphics. You remember that, Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know
Oh,
But it was
Enola Gay,
it was
Enola
a dirt
Gay.
bike.
yeah, he could flip it. No, it was still a supermoto,
Oh, but
he
he's
could flip it really easy.
and he didn't flip it.
none of them
He just
do.
sent the photo in at a gas station. If he would have got some hot chicks to stand next to it, I mean that bike's just got to be a full chick magnet, right?
Look at Look at
Logan's
the bird
looking in
legs
the
in
back,
the back.
picture for that, but they can't see
Do
that. We're seeing
supermotos
this.
need skid plates?
They could see it.
Oh, when you scroll it around like that, they can't see it when you move it on because you're showing it bigger to us.
Yeah.
Do supermotos need skid plates?
If you're going to be mobbing over the drainage culverts, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Oh, yeah.
maybe when you're doing the stunt show out in the middle of the freeway, when you shut down the freeway, you're
Yeah,
doing
when
a
you
stunt show,
start
and
popping
wanna-
over K rails.
You go over the K rail, over the arm co to get on the other side.
Yeah, I got you.
He better have good grammar. What does Robert Lambert say that for? I don't know. What?
Hand guards, I guess that's for if you crash, right? There's probably not a lot of trees on the street.
Yeah, well, that's if you slide it down.
You lay it down, right?
Mark Daniels, I'm on the same page as you. It's a little bit on the endo thing. So it's just we're dirt bike test. It has the wrong tires. I'm sure that bike's sweet, but you're gonna have to call up Scott Hoffman
you
and
go
get
like-
some sympathy from him.
Yeah, probably for the price of wheels and tires and lowering suspension and all that, you could buy like 2 really good used dirt bikes.
Surons?
Probably buy one of those.
Those two.
Those things are like all the weird stuff. They sell more new than or used than they do new.
Yeah. So okay.
They're like $9,000 to get them usable, though.
Yeah, is that all?
By the way, anybody
A
out there
supermoto
thinking you want to go mobbing a Suron?
Huh?
You're like $8,000 before that thing is
Really?
worthy.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I thought. Really, I didn't know this. I thought they were like $3,000. They look like a $3,000 pile of junk.
Go buy a set of DVO forks, real hubs.
All the pieces.
If you ride, you will
you're gonna
break it.
So Chris is defending his bike. He says on the Nordic, if I change my tires and the hard case relocation, I can't evaluate the wind wiggle change. It's mostly a street bike, so hence I roosted him, just like the supermoto bike. And at this point, I occasionally sees a dirt road. He says it's not serious ADV. He's honest. That's good. I like that. I mean, in reality, that's what most people do with their adventure bikes, in all honesty. And if I was going to do what Chris is doing, I would have rounder tires on my bikes as well.
Yeah, and I think that bike I would do that.
I cannot keep myself from going down dirt roads that I shouldn't on my adventure bike. So I have to run knobbies on it, and that's why I ride it. Because if I'm just going to get from point A to point B, I end up driving a truck. So. Yeah, Sean Casey says, what's that? Dry backs tucked in your slipstream, drop the cases. Dry bags. I think he's dry bags. Tuck in your slipstream. I think he's got a system. I knowing Chris, he has a system. Okay, so it's that time of the night where we decide who gets the $100 Takamoto gift certificate.
Takamoto?
I think I have a Mark Daniel says his vote is for Chris Reel because he contributes so much and he is way too honest.
I'm with that.
That's true. You're going there too?
His bike is equipped. I like that.
But the question I have for you, Jimmy, is who is missing Bible study tonight? Which one of those bikes is missing Bible study?
Well, the guy who's got a ass ton of Amazon parts on his bike that he rides the hell out of.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, I would never put my life on Amazon foot pegs.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like if a broken foot peg would kill you, right?
it could at least hurt your nuts.
It would definitely ruin you.
At least, yeah.
I mean, you put a lot of faith on your foot pegs and handlebars, right?
Yep.
I wouldn't skip, I wouldn't skip on that.
Okay, so who's the?
Oh, give Asher. Let's get some foot pegs on that thing, buddy.
Okay, I have to agree too. I mean, Chris is local. If he needs, I'll hand Chris $100 next time I see him. The contributions.
Yeah,
but Takamoto gift certificate is going to Asher,
Good for you.
who
Let's get
by
some
the
foot
way,
pegs on that, buddy.
who the frame broke before the foot pegs did. So there you go. Amazon's good for foot pegs now.
Yeah, I mean maybe someday. But,
Asher, reach out
and maybe today. Maybe those foot pegs
with an email
are better than a
even
set
though,
of IMS pegs.
Even though I know I have
they're not.
Yeah, even though I know you have your email, I will forget. So reach out with an email probably tomorrow sometime because I'm not paying attention right now. The Baker's is actually 107 proof, way better than I thought.
Yeah, it's working well.
But thanks for joining. Asher did skip Bible study tonight to come out, and he threw out a good thing for land use, which was awesome. I always appreciate that.
It sounds like his club or whatever he belongs to.
Yeah,
doing some of the right things. I think we chose correctly.
And Robert Lambert says $100 isn't buying nothing but Amazon foot pegs. Well, it's a start. I mean,
Robert,
hey, if you guys
only show you where the water is, can't make you drink it.
I promise you, if you guys all start going to Taco Moto and saying, I hear about this stuff that you talk about. I'm over there at Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Jimmy Lewis runs a good show. We love that you support him. It'd be so cool if you were giving away $200 an episode. Maybe this kind of stuff can happen. I'm not asking him to increase my little take over here, but if I can do something for you guys, that's what we're going to do. Hopefully we kept to a little bit of a format. I'm going to try to get more guests on this show. Super stoked that Jimmy and Logan came in. Logan, you did a good job over there. You only fell asleep once and didn't really hit your head that hard when you hit the thing. But
I was trying to help you, but...
You're trying to help me. You've been trying to help me from day one, and actually, it's come a long ways. I mean, people said that one guy said that he wasn't stoked on your performance on the show, so we moved you to producer. You're killing it over there, better than that other guy. Possibly. Just got to work on the back end. Getting it all. Have we decided who's doing that yet? Who's putting this up? We have no idea. This is the way I run my business. Is I let the insane people run the asylum.
There you go.
And it starts with me. So everybody, thanks a lot for joining in. Support us again. Our sponsors are Yamaha, Taco Moto, Scott Sports, Climb, DDC, Trail Tech, and Fasst Company. If you are shopping for those companies, let them know you heard about it here, or at least we had some effect on you. Or, man, if you just say, the only reason I'm buying this damn product is because you support that stupid show that I listen to once a week. We do really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Even if you're listening to this on the social platforms, let us know. We will do our best to answer all of our questions, and we're here to make your ride better. Right?
Better. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Logan?
Not for me.
Not for you. And Jimmy, you're all good.
I'm great. Fantastic.
Good thing Logan's
had a lot of fun.
Good things Logan's driving home. Got nothing better than having a kid that can't drink drive you around.
Yeah. God, it's fantastic.
So, okay, everybody. Until next week, we will see you on the trail.
Guys.
Hey guys, if you like the show and you want more content from Dirt Bike Test, you can always check us out on the web at www.dirtbiketest.com. And it never hurts if you tell a friend, watch us on YouTube, check us out on Facebook, or just plain buy everything we talk about and tell all of our sponsors that we're the best. See ya.